Streaming. Okay.
Like Icarus to land.
Stream has started.
All
Acres
right,
are
let's-
to land.
Icarus. Kid Icarus. That was
Kid
a
Icarus?
hard fucking game.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the hardest games the other day. Ghost and Goblins is one of
Oh
them.
fuck.
So you're talking that era?
I have
Yeah,
the
like
the remake Ghosts and
Dark-
Goblins Resurrection just as hard.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's that game and Ghouls and Ghosts. You can take two different paths.
I was thinking of the quarter swallowers back in those days
Oh, yeah.
when you just slam quarters into games.
Like free play?
Yeah, but like, so Ghost and Goblins was one that was extremely difficult.
Battletoads,
Battletoads was difficult.
the Ghostbusters NES game.
Akari Warriors got insane.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
All the
you
airplane
had the
games,
infinite-
1942,
yeah, they were-
1943.
those
you had
were
Infinite
goblins.
Continues with the cheat code ABBA on Ikari Warriors, the first one.
But I'm talking about in the arcade.
Oh, in the arcade, yeah.
Cubert made me
Shinobi?
crazy.
Yeah.
Shinobi, you would eat your quarters
Oh,
too. 'cause
yeah.
you'd get
I could never
addicted to
pass the
that.
first level.
That was the one that would get
I
me.
love Shinobi. That was fun.
Shinobi.
And then was what was the one they had?
Those in the chat room, we're waiting on our guest to get here. Just so you know.
Spy Hunter.
Oh.
You would
Oh,
dump
Spy
all
Hunter.
kinds of coins into that one.
I like the Peter Gunn theme.
Are you not seeing video?
And then
Are we on standby screen, or do you have us on?
Please
It's
qualify.
on the please stand by screen, yeah.
Yeah.
what does pole position say at the beginning?
Prepare to
Prepare to
Prepare to
qualify.
qualify. You can change it to one of our screens if you want to.
Okay,
I mean,
let me
we
see.
are streaming.
Let me go.
Prepare to
Game
qualify.
3 shot. There we go. Oh, it's
There's a 3-shot. There's a 4-shot.
okay. There we go. That's the one I'll have
Fort Worth roads.
because we have our
Bloody roads.
guest that'll be joining us.
Have you
shortly.
not familiar yourself with that?
Well,
you know how
it wasn't
works.
in the same place as it was the 2
We'll
weeks
move
ago.
them around.
We're
Yeah.
getting
No,
You
I'll
have freedom to move whatever you need to around.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thomas, we're getting all kinds of complaints here.
From
Look
who?
at the chat room. Look, they're going nuts.
from Andrew, from Susie.
We're waiting on our guest to get here.
Yes,
He's
you
running just a
Yeah,
hair
there's
bit
a
late.
damn it.
Traffic.
I don't want to do that. I want to do that. There we go.
You can move them around.
Okay.
You can move the scenes around. It's under
Yes,
your
scene camera.
control. It's all yours.
Yes. So I,
Do
I'm,
what you want.
I'm moving this around. Damn it. Yes, camera. Gonna move
Let's
that
see. I
up.
got Fort Worth Roots pulled up
So-
so I can
okay,
bag
there we
on
go.
them. We can play some audio from that
Okay,
show and
so
bag
there's
on them.
for us. Tony,
Okay. That's all we can play.
Stubbs, me, Robotuna.
We'll have to start doing like. I do have an apology after listening to this week's 60 songs that explain the 90s, semicolon the 2000s.
Oh shit!
Why?
From
It was-
who?
It's about Linkin Park.
Oh god. Here we go.
So you're going to apologize?
Yeah.
Why?
For bagging on Linkin Park.
When'd you do that?
I'm apologizing for you hating Linkin Park.
They're the fucking worst band ever. Most overrated. Hey, let me ask you something though. We could put this in the show notes actually.
What's that?
Chester,
Yeah. Jay-Z.
Jay-Z,
I
pedophilia.
You want to know? I can talk about this before we record the show. I had a big conversation yesterday at the game
Mm-hmm.
about removing all Jay-Z from everything.
Already?
Almost every.
Aren't we going to wait till the trial like all of it comes?
No, it's too.
Is
it's
it
too
too-
hot right now.
is it too hot?
Yeah.
It's too hot. And almost
can see
every
that.
song
What about
they
J-Lo?
perform to has Jay-Z.
Well,
it
Jay-Z's
somewhere?
everywhere.
Yeah.
What
and
about
that was
J-Lo?
Wild. I don't know.
Or J Ho?
I don't really use J-Lo on anything. The stadium's already not playing
Abraham Lincoln Park.
Any puff?
any of that.
Surprised I haven't seen
Anything
that
of
on a
that
Cursed AI.
that's going on in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do they play Jerry Lee Lewis?
Why would you play Jerry Lee Lewis?
I don't.
Jerry Lee Lewis
What
was
is
the devil.
the
Jesus
Top Gun,
was an architect.
Top Gun.
Previous to his career as a prophet.
The
Jesus also built
goodness
my heart.
gracious, great balls of fire, maybe like that.
That's what I was thinking was Jesus built my heart.
Yeah.
Why would they play Great Balls of Fire when the team sucks?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, is
Oh,
the
come in.
stuff like is she only 17 still being played at places? Like,
No,
does
by
Not
the
at
does
the
Clear
Clear
stadium.
Channel? Well, let's take out the stadium and talk about Clear Channel. Does Clear
No,
Channel
I don't
play
know.
them?
I don't know. I'm talking about the
This the
stadium
stadium?
because I was at the stadium yesterday, and
And they
that was the
said no.
talk. Yeah, I mean, I could shoot a message to EJ DJ, who's the big DJ at the top of the stadium, and
Yeah.
be like, "What are you taking out of your playlist now?" I ought to. I'll do that for next show. I'll shoot him a message and be like, "Have you removed stuff from the stadium playlist because of shit going on?"
I don't know how I
God.
feel about removing things because it's a form of censorship in a way. But I'm not talking about in your case. Your case, you have an event and a brand name that needs to be protected, right? So you can't. But I'm talking about top 40 or not top 40, but mainstream radio like Clear Channel and all these iHeart radios. Are they gonna like when you start ripping music because you find something out about an artist?
Let me go get him.
Okay.
That's detrimental to the art, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And it's way over the line censorship wise.
let's pull up the list of.
Exactly. It's 1,000.
Can pull up the list.
Is that yours or mine?
What is it?
For the headphones?
I don't know
Your container?
what that
No,
is.
the earpod case.
I don't think they're mine.
Hey, Tony.
What up?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Okay.
Okay.
We got the live stream rolling. We were just discussing music censorship.
That's good. I'd like to just censor it all. I think we should just have one song that we listen to continuously.
Beat into your head.
The
The
state is correct. The state is correct.
just have the Empire thing. The
What
Empire
is
Strikes
it?
Back. The Imperial March.
In Russia, you can't have songs above a certain BPM or below a certain BPM.
How boring.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Mm.
Very weird.
colorful.
I saw
I
something
didn't know
today
that.
that said that
The cameras
to
look
not
good?
listen
Everybody
to
lined up?
music
Everybody-
that has high BPMs because it causes aggressive
Everybody look good on
driving.
camera?
Yeah, yeah. Tony is centered.
You mean Tony included?
Yes.
I brought these.
Sweet.
All right.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Give me one so I can read the bands I booked.
Yeah. You don't have this beat into your head yet?
No. Actually, I have
The
it on
Rock
my
Assembly?
phone. You're good. You're good.
Here you go,
No, I
Dustin.
don't need it.
Here you go.
Can you hear yourself good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear myself great. Thanks for having me, boys.
Well, it's been a while.
Yeah, we've it's got to be 3 years since I've been here, and then 5 years since we've done Rock Assembly.
I can't believe it's been 5 years. Let's start the show and then let's get into that.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
We's ready.
So we're all here. Everybody's ready. Everybody sounds good. Everybody's good. So let's start it up. Let's do the intro here.
Cool.
Which podcasts are you listening to?
Yes.
Oh,
my
great
God.
Jerry
Yes,
Jonestown Massacre.
I'm interested, like genuinely.
I don't do podcasts. You know, I like Howard Stern. You know, old Stern. Before he started doing therapy and got all gentrified and shit. Back when it was just the Whack Pack and Butt Bongo. Before Bob Babu, he got those big, filthy teeth fixed. You know, but I did try your podcast. Yeah, it's absolute shit. I mean, it sucks.
I don't even like podcasts. They make me fall asleep, so...
This episode of the Jerry Jones Massacre brought to you by
Dice Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
The Jerry Jonestown Massacre contains graphic material, including offensive language, partial nudity, and completely ridiculous thoughts and opinions that shouldn't be expressed or shared by anyone. Listener discretion is advised.
And now coming at you from the Temple of I, just on the outskirts of where the West begins.
It's the Jerry Jonestown Massacre!
So weird. So bizarre, man.
We thought it'd be appropriate to have a cover band start this.
Yeah. I mean, when in Jerry Jonestown Massacre podcast, when there, you know, do it. Do it.
I think I shut this. I have the whole first verse here. Show number 605.
What?
It is Tuesday, December 10th, D1024. Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Happy Tuesday, Dustin.
Happy Tuesday, other Matt.
Happy Tuesday, Dustin.
And
Robotuda.
happy Tuesday to our mayor of Fort Worth.
Maddie Parker?
It's been a long reign.
Oh my God! No.
Tony, welcome back.
Thank you.
Still the mayor.
How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm grayer.
I think we all are.
I'm thicker in inappropriate places.
I think we all are.
There's things that I need a salve for.
Oh. Yeah.
And this weekend is Fort Worth Rock Assembly, which is the booking and getting all the things in line have literally taken 13 years off my life.
Stressful.
Yeah, I'm actually 79 years old. So.
Is it going to be another 5 years before we do this again after all this stress?
You know, it's funny. My real intention, actually, I wasn't even going to do it until like Blake Parrish, that jerk. He messaged me and he was like, "Dude, you should do a rock assembly." And I was like, Well, actually, I was going to do it last year, but I ran out of bandwidth and space. Yeah. And so this year I was determined to try and do it, or at least kind of, put it out there and see if I could get it done. And so I said, you know what? I'm also an event coordinator for a bunch of other different stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? It's not going to get any easier the more I wait. So I just need to go ahead and jump in with both feet. So I kind of got all the administrative stuff ready and reached out online and told people to sign up, and here we are. It is a tornado yet again, but I think it's going to be success. I feel like a lot of people have really responded. We've upped our game as far as social media engagement this year, which I'm pretty proud of.
Shoot, sorry about that.
We were like at 300 followers for Rock Assembly. I think maybe in September. We're at 1,000 now. So that's not bad.
No.
And
would you like to hear what ChatGPT says about Fort Worth Rock Assembly?
Boy, I cannot wait. This will be interesting.
All right. It says Fort Worth Rock Assembly is an annual concert event. Is it annually?
Well, it's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
And then it was basically annually, right?
But
yeah.
You did one last year? I don't remember it.
No, we didn't do it last year.
So
we were going to do it last year. I was going to put it together, and then I decided against it because
that's
I ran
one
out of
strike
space.
against
ChatGPT
ChatGPT right off
and
the
you're-
bat.
you, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
If history's right, your first year was the same night as our 1 year anniversary party.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the year we had Vaden Todd Lewis sing. It was at the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right. We've had some really famous acts since then that have performed. We got some famous people this year too. So it's come full circle.
Yeah,
Pretty
we're
happy
going to get
about
this lineup. This is crazy.
All right.
What else to say?
It says, I just plugged in wacky because that one was too
There's a lot of nudity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says it's like a magical rock and roll buffet held annually in Fort Worth, Texas, except instead of food, you're served face-melting guitar riffs and drum solos that hit harder than your morning coffee. Picture this: local bands fueled by Texas barbecue and sheer passion, shredding their souls on the stage while the crowd moshes like they just found out tomorrow's all-you-can-eat at tacos are canceled. Oh,
Okay.
it's kind of racist, isn't it?
I mean, you know.
It's basically Fort Worth's version of Woodstock, minus the mudslides and all the way more cowboy hats. Expect everything from
Not quite, but okay.
Well,
expect everything from up and coming rockers trying to impress their moms in the crowd to veteran bands whose amps are older than most TikTokers.
well,
That I
there's
believe.
going to be moms because School of Rock is opening both nights, so
There you
there's
go.
definitely going to be
Yes.
some moms,
And there's going to be some
and
dad
there
rigs.
might be some of those moms might be single. You don't know.
There you go.
Oh,
It's
there you
loud,
go.
it's chaotic,
And
and
there's gonna be
it's
single
the perfect
dads, you don't
place
know,
to
ladies.
scream, "That's my jam!" even if you've never heard the song before.
So now I have to scream that like every set.
You should.
Damn.
If you're looking for a night of wild music, questionable dance moves, and a community of people who just want to rock out harder than your uncle at karaoke night, the Fort Worth Rock Assembly is your screen. Or your scene.
Aw,
I'm sorry.
Thank you,
Your scene.
ChatGPT.
Don't forget your earplugs. There you go.
Yeah,
Or your air guitar skills.
That's it.
Yeah.
that's it.
So
And
that's what ChatGPT
the
says.
The inappropriate dancing is always brought by one Sean Russell. So
Always.
He does that
that's-
in here, too.
You can never discount.
He does that when we're alone.
Inappropriate dancing at a big event in Fort Worth, because if Sean Russell's there,
Or skating.
that'll be there.
Yeah.
So,
It's just best to let him finish.
yeah, and hopefully he puts his pants back on, so we can encourage him,
Yeah.
but we can't force him. So
Yeah. Well, so a lot has changed since the last time you did one.
indeed,
No Lolas.
No Lolas.
pandemic.
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 That too.
So real short, When we did it in 2019, it was a good show. It wasn't as great as we wanted to. You know, money wasn't I think we were kind of, by that point, we'd been going at it since 2012. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so by that time, we were all, as a group, back when it was called Panther City Exchange, the event group, we were pretty tired of, I feel, we were kind of going through the motions for Rock Assembly. And, you know, and also interest was starting to wane in the company, and everybody just kind of wanted to go do their own thing.
What was the name of the Rock Exchange?
It was Rock Assembly is the event. That was our main event, and then we did other events, but the company was called Panther City Exchange, PCX.
And does it still exist or no?
No,
it's not. Okay.
Anymore.
Okay.
I have started a new company called DS Event. Oh crap! What
Logistics and Management.
Yes.
Is it DS Events?
DS
Event Logistics.
Logistics and Management. Event Logistics and Management. I'm sorry, my brain is fried.
You should change the
Do you
name.
need a PR person? I'm over here.
I can't hire a PR person right now. Give me a month.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. But I kind of played around with that. But you know, up to the point of me naming my company finally, I had been I've been picking up gigs working with nonprofits and community organizations, namely Trinity Pride Fest. I'm the chief event coordinator for Trinity Pride Fest.
The last time you were in here was when you first started doing that.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like it's 2020,
with Sean Russell, when the power went out.
Whenever the inappropriate dancing occurred after a few drinks.
When he fell down
ate
outside.
It and we thought we were going to have to take him to the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
That was a crazy night.
I think we were discussing having to take him to the hospital because he may have hurt something due to the inappropriate dancing.
I think so, yeah.
But working with Trinity Pride Fest, obviously booking a bunch of great bands for Arts Goggle every year, and then working with a new organization called Braver Together, which are based in the historic South Side of Fort Worth, and they are tasked with helping the people that live there and getting them resources as far as education and work, and also the main event that they hire me for, which is kind of like a resource event for people that live in the area that need to come and find out information about health and, you know, pick up shoes or jackets or food and stuff like that they need to exist, to be able to help them along with their daily lives. And Braver Together is such a great organization. They partner with United Way, and so I've been helping all these various organizations with the logistics of the event. So just like the name, the company, what we namely do is we don't really concentrate on the outward facing stuff. We concentrate on like making sure that you are up to code and that you've got your insurance, you've got police, EMS, your barricades. We check in with the city to make sure everything's permits, all that stuff. It's kind of a niche thing.
Yeah.
But you would be surprised how many people whenever they put an event together, that's something they're not looking forward to. Those kind of boring administrative.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah. Well,
the people that do it for the first time, you're like, you can't just throw an event in the middle of the street. Just because you wanna.
That's luckily that's where people
there's things you got to do.
My name has been kicked around because they're like, well, there's this guy named Tony, quote unquote, doesn't have a really company name, but his name is Tony Diaz, and he'll take care of all that stuff. He'll send you a bill, a listing of all the things he'll do.
Is that how you get paid?
Yeah.
Like, do you send when you send over your estimate of how you're going to throw an event, right?
Yeah.
Do you also put your fee in that estimate?
So I mean, I really can't.
Because I've always wondered how this works.
Yeah, I mean,
no, but I've never understood how guys like you make a living doing these type of things.
Well,
like that's the thing I've never understood.
I also work at the Fort Worth Weekly. Shout out to the Fort Worth Weekly. We're putting our paper out.
Do they know you're here?
Yeah, they know I'm here. But
he's here to kill us.
No. Yes, that's it.
Well, he's a mole assassin.
No, they're great. They're great. And we just got done with our holiday guide last week, which was amazing. And that's such a great paper. Anyway, I'm getting off track. But the thing is that
you have another job.
I have another job. And so I'm just kind of in between where it's a weird road to hoe with these events, and I'm getting more. I know. I'm getting more leads. People are spreading the word about me, saying, "Hey, there's this guy," and all that stuff of kind of getting in the trenches and doing all that ministry. If you don't want to do it, this guy will take that off your plate, and then you can just concentrate on all the great social posts and the celebration aspect and the decorations,
The
fun things, which is great. You know,
Yeah.
Fun things.
You do that. I'll just lay these really solid tracks down. You ride the train on it, and
Cool.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the split, and it is a niche market, and I feel like it's something that I can really help a lot of different organizations and companies with. So,
Well, you've been in this scene forever.
yes.
For freaking ever. You know everybody in this scene, so
Yeah, when we do
makes it
one of
very
these
easy.
days, we're going to do a festival.
Okay.
Our show is.
You can hire me.
And there you go. That's exactly what I was going to say.
We're going to
You
do it
might
in
be
front of
hearing
Will
about
Rogers.
it. We do want a discount, though.
We're going to fix it.
There are people that I hire out that I'll have to
We're cheap.
discuss and say, hey, we're giving them a discount, just a heads up. So you're not going to get paid this much this time.
Well, I know when you put the call out this year, and it started
bat
showing
signal?
up, the bat signal that this was coming back, that a bunch of people got excited
I
and freaked
did
out. and were
not
like,
expect
yes,
that.
it's back.
I was really not expecting that at all. I actually was thinking to myself, what I was thinking was a lot of the olds were going to go, nah, not interested. And then a lot of the youngs were going to go, what's this event called again? Like, that's the expectation that I had. But apparently either the olds talk to the youngs or the youngs ask the olds, and then they're all involved.
Yeah.
And I mean, case in point, Brandon Lee and members of Flickerstick doing the Smashing Pumpkins, the huge lineup that's
I didn't
doing.
see that on here.
Yeah.
What day is that? Is that on Friday or Saturday?
That's on Saturday. Doty and Jordan Richardson, Michael Richardson,
Russo.
Yeah, Russo, Jenny
Fleetwood
Mac,
Steely
Mark
Dan.
Littieri are all doing the album. They're recreating the album "Countdown to Ecstasy" by Steely Dan.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I've been
That's
requested to
ambitious.
shoot that. for
It's
them.
really ambitious, right?
So that's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, and then you have like a Hotel Satellite. That's going to be one of my favorite sets. They're doing Radiohead.
So
Yeah.
I have it under good authority by the Jeffrey Lord. He was telling
The
me on
Jeffrey Lord.
Saturday night
Praise the
that
Lord.
he saw Hotel Satellite 2 weeks ago and they performed 2 Radiohead songs, just kind of a preview.
Were they phenomenal?
And he said it was
Out of this world.
Out of this world.
What song?
Oh my gosh!
I can't remember what he
No,
said.
no,
but he
don't
said it
even
was
tell
great.
me. I got to be excited. Like I want to find out. Like it's a
Yeah.
like it's
Like
a
a
Christmas
gift.
present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't want to know. And so,
But he said they were so dead on and it sounded so good.
Kevin's
I was
all
like, yes.
My God, Kevin's all online. Every time I post something, Kevin's like, we're gonna do okay. Like he's tapping the brakes. I'm pumping his band up, and Kevin's like, we'll be all right.
Dolan's got a task
Trying to stay
Oh,
centered, probably.
because we just did our Halloween show with Shaolin Death Squad.
Oh,
doing
yeah.
Soundgarden,
that was fun.
and
I hosted.
seeing Andrew belt out Chris Cornell,
Chris Cornell.
was
Oh,
like
man.
we knew it was gonna be hardcore, but
I mean,
seeing
he's a
him do it-
great singer. Anyway.
And then you're sitting there
Yeah.
going, God dang, he pulled it off, and oh my God, that hurts me. Like knowing
That's
the
the other
reach,
thing
and
that I was
so-
telling Nick, who is partnering with me to put this on. My friend Nick McClanahan. He goes by Ian Mack. He's a great comedian in Fort
We
Worth.
know of this
Yeah,
man.
we
yeah,
know
you
this
know,
guy.
I
Ian
know him.
Mack. Anyway, he and I are partnering to get this thing across the finish line, and I was telling him, and I was like, dude, I really think that out of a lot of rock assemblies, this freaking show is going to be dead on. Like, it's going to sound, if not like an album, like album versions, it's going to sound like live versions of that
yeah.
band.
Are
And
you
I'm-
which
gonna
is
are you
perfect.
going to do live recordings and then release?
Okay,
Damn
so I'm still
Or is that-
I'm still working that out, and I can't really go too far into it. But we may have some live recordings. But then there's also the
ASCAP and BMI shit?
ASCAP BMI stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't know that the
Royalties.
ASCAP BMI insurance that the club has covers video footage of that.
Yeah.
But I see on YouTube
People doing it all the time.
people recording their own band doing being a
doing
tribute
covers
band.
and tribute bands. Yeah,
I
all
mean,
the time, so.
I'm here. I am after doing all the logistics stuff for years. I'm like super worried about, I don't want to break the law.
That's one thing out of all the Do For It Halloween shows we've done, and I've shot the video, edited, and posted.
They always
everything,
get up.
Never been flagged. I've never been flagged for one of those
For a copyright strike.
For copyright strike.
So
for
the
anything I
venues,
have.
the venues,
It's the venue's insurance
license
license
probably
yeah.
pays for it,
Yeah,
right?
I think it's good.
Or it's just
it's the
known
dues
as a
they
cover.
pay. Well, it's the
And it's a live performance.
it's the
so
dues they pay that cover. I mean, because you got to remember, ASCAP and BMI it covers a ridiculously huge swath from the 50s all the way to now of music.
Yeah.
And if your club invests in that, whatever, then it's just you as a club, whether they're people performing those
cool.
music or not, you're paying a fee in so that it's kind of a safety net. They're just getting money either way, and so then
Did you know when they first started, when the FCC first started enforcing stuff that like the licensing agreements and stuff
Sure.
did you know if you played your music or if you played any music just out of your radio and you held a garage sale, you were in violation and could be fined?
Whoa!
No, I didn't know that.
I learned that at
That's
Radio,
fucking
Television, and
insane.
Film
Isn't
School
it-
at
isn't
University
it-
of North Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting? Copyright and infringement, and also those kinds of infringements, how far they've progressed since their inception.
Yeah,
And that's why covers are so weird. It's
Mhm.
such a weird gray area.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's
With
been
what you're
done
going
for
to-
years, and it's
It has
done
been
in the
done for
industry
years.
ridiculously.
But then
Yeah.
if you sample something and the Rolling Stones come at you for all your royalties and just suck your biggest tune away
Yeah,
from
we
you,
made
you
$1
know?
million
It's like-
and we sampled the Stones.
Are you talking
and
about
the Stones is
Bittersweet Symphony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
The last time,
was it? Wasn't there a Radiohead song? Something that had to do was it? What's the name of that? Oh gosh, I'm so terrible with pop stars. Her name is. She always looks like she's bored. She's brunette.
Chappelle Roan?
No.
What
Lana
year?
Del Rey.
Oh, Lana Del Rey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't she get in trouble because
RBF.
I think she did.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
got like not too long ago.
Sorry to the
Was it,
description.
Pearl
I mean, that's
Jam
literally
and Given to
unbelievable.
Fly, they got in trouble from Led Zeppelin
Oh, that's right. On Yield.
Yeah, was
But
it
the
going to
album Yield.
California?
I didn't think
going
I
to
used to have that.
California and Given to Fly, right?
I thought
Yeah.
that was just dismissed. I didn't think it. I
It
think they
didn't
went
fly.
to court,
Well,
but they,
It didn't fly.
Well, I mean, I remember the
Yeah.
drum up.
yeah,
Yeah.
The same thing with Tom Petty and Red
Danny
Hot Chili
California,
Peppers.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I can't.
Mary Jane's Last
That's the
Dance.
thing
I
about
wonder what
doing this event.
Yeah,
Like we've always talked since the inception of this event, we're always like, we want to maybe do it in a bigger thing and bigger thing.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of maybe legal wranglings that you're protected by doing it in a club.
Too big.
I
yeah.
still think a live performance doesn't count. Like there is a law on that about
I think your
performing
venue's license
a
covers
live
it.
performance of covers is a-okay with.
As long as
anything.
you have the venue has bought the license, whatever package they offer that it's covered under, I think you're good. It's the posting it though that drives me nuts. It's like, okay, so we can do a podcast here, but if someone hears even like if you came in here and you're like, I'm going to do some Tenacious D with Nick and what's his face? What's Nick's buddy that he does it with?
Riley?
Casey.
Yeah, Casey.
Casey, yeah.
So you guys come in here and do that, right? And you do Tenacious D. Guess what? We're getting it ripped. But if you go to a venue and do it,
Then you're okay.
then you're okay.
Because
It's like,
but you guys, but again, it gets back to the BMI ASCAP stuff.
or is that YouTube that I'm confusing with?
YouTube will
rip it.
Will
But
will pull it down, but they never
Could
pull
Tenacious
down
D come
NRCD.
after us if we were making money as a podcast?
Nah.
Which is a joke. But if we were making money as a podcast,
Our 20 cents a show.
yeah. If we were making Joe
That's all
Rogan
Jerry
money,
pays?
and we had him come in and he did a cover set with his acoustic or a few songs, and we made some money on that, could the artist come after us, Tenacious D?
When they came on and did some stuff on this show, it never got flagged. It never got stopped on anything.
That was a long time ago too.
It was a long time ago. But they were also very anal when we first got started, and now they've started getting really anal again.
Yeah.
But they're flagging you, but they won't take you down because a law was passed that they can't remove you anymore.
Like
because of music stuff, they can't give you copyright strikes and then say, okay, well, we're killing your account. There was some law put in where,
But they
it
can
said do that.
demonetize you still,
They
right?
demonetize us. We can't make money off that
Yeah.
episode. Now Spotify is completely different. Spotify is just taking everybody down for any little inkling or sampling of any audio they find questionable. I get more warnings from Spotify now than I do YouTube
On our podcast.
on our stuff
Wow.
when we're playing music and stuff.
How many do we have a lot of listeners on Spotify?
I'd have to go look.
I don't think I've
know.
ever listened to our show on Spotify.
I
I'll have
never
to
have.
start trying to do it.
Do you guys have like a overall number that you look at the end of the year and you're like, man, this year we had 1.5
We'll have a good one
million
this year because of election.
listeners.
When we have election years, our numbers go up. We don't know why. We're not election. Like we don't
Yeah.
understand. We're just as dumb as
like
the next
big
guy about
current
politics.
events
but
like that probably drum up people listening because they want to hear your opinion.
Technically, it should be floating around 1.2 million.
Really? For real?
Yeah,
That's amazing. I was so close.
wish we could get paid.
that 20
Thomas.
cents.
What?
Is that part of your job, Umbrella? Get us paid.
You have a job,
We
umbrella?
gotta hire someone
That's
else.
awesome.
He just runs video.
Yeah, I'm just
Oh.
I'm the ETD, Executive Technical Director.
Whoa.
ED. We took the T out.
Well, no, you took the T out. I put
Yeah.
it back in.
Where it's a little T. It's just
Yeah.
big E, little T, big D.
I don't have
So you have the ED.
I don't have problems with T
I'm the
Did you-
TDJR.
because my T keeps my ED away.
You have little T and big E.
I'm the TDJR. I'm Tony.
What have you been listening
Tony
to lately
Diaz Jr.
on the aggressive side, Tony? What have you been listening to? You heard this Better Lovers Band yet?
No. I'll tell you what I have been listening to.
It's a super group
Of
sorts.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
No, well, they're a permanent
Well-
group. It's not like it's
Well, you know, I mean, the collaboration from all these guys from different bands that have come together to make a
just
separate
two
band.
bands.
Well, okay, yeah.
You guys
Separate bands, plural.
Tony, I didn't want them to debate this. but
No, that's
Go
okay.
ahead, y'all
That's
continue.
that's
I mean,
the craziness of this
It's
podcast.
a permanent
I
band
remember
now.
the
When you say
flow.
super group, it's like
Yeah.
a temporary thing or
Well,
something. Like,
Cream was a super group.
Yeah,
They were a permanent band.
Actually, they were.
Oh
You're
yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
true. Okay.
They were
You know,
the-
actually,
one of the first.
What I have been listening to in the week of the event, which is this week, I'd been listening to was whenever I see the bands pick the band that they're going to perform, I then kind of make a list and just kind of get myself into the mood of of the show. And so I made a Spotify list, and I haven't.
Of all the artists, in
Yeah,
the,
no,
that's
of,
cool.
of all the bands that they're covering.
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
I like that.
And so usually around this time, I really make it public, and
That's kind of the
send
Dufort
people that
thing
way.
too. The Dufort Records Halloween show that we try to do, but it's our little event isn't nearly as huge as yours. It was at one time, but I do the same thing though when it comes around. I'm like,
Oh,
I gotta
that's
listen to all the
cool.
music.
No,
so,
it's good, right?
But Better Lovers, the reason I said that, we went and saw them.
Oh, okay.
You got to check them.
Oh, we're
You
moving
gotta
into
check
shoot
'em
the
out.
shit.
Yeah. You got to check them out, man.
What happened?
It's members. It's the singer of Dillinger Escape Plan. You remember those guys?
Oh yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
Greg Puciato.
And all
And
that-
the rest of the band
Right?
is made up of Every Time
Every
I
time I
Die.
die.
Is that guitarist that's
Oh.
in Fit for an Autopsy? Is he from Every Time I Die too?
Maybe I don't know.
One that plays on those Donable guitars?
We're
Donables?
getting into the weird point to where all these bands that are full sentences
Incest.
throw me off. Like
They-
those
Yeah,
are-
Will
who's
Putney
who's
was
We
where.
in,
talked about that on the way home.
Yeah, Stubbs.
So
Will
you-
Putney was the one that was from Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah, he's awesome too. His guitar, look up his guitar. It's so freaking awesome. It's Dunable or Dunable.
So we went and saw them on Wednesday night.
This
Yeah.
was
after
weird.
last Tuesday's show, and this was weird because we almost didn't get to see the show because early that morning they announced that their drummer had to leave the tour because he had a family emergency back
Oh
home.
no.
Oh man.
And
that's a bummer.
so it was all in the air if the show was going to happen, if they were going to cancel, because all they had to do was
Sure.
3 dates left.
That was the end of the tour.
And it was the very end of the tour. So he has a drum tech, but the drum tech doesn't know the songs that well.
Okay.
So they were going to work him out, and I guess they did a sound check. It didn't work out too well, or the drum tech was like, I don't know him that well.
Made executive decisions.
Made an executive decision. So what they did was, which was super freaking interesting,
Mhm.
they put out a Facebook post or a Instagram post and
Oh.
said, Dallas, you're getting the entire show. We're not going to crap out on you. You're
Sure,
getting
sure.
the full hour set, and it's going to be the full ordeal, everything, full bore. And we'll tell you more when you get here.
So the guitarist comes out, right? Oh, are you going to go into the bands that played with him? Because it was a good lineup.
It
Everybody
a good
was
lineup.
really good.
Go check out Spy.
Yes.
Go check
From,
out
from the Bay Area Spy.
Gouge Away, which is a modern sounding Pixies band
Oh,
with
cool.
a female singer.
That's
Just
cool.
They had a
heavy,
few tracks that
heavy.
were pretty decent. But then that one band, that the opener, was it
Cloakroom.
Cloakroom?
They were
That,
cool as
yeah,
hell.
that was cool. It was a different
That's
sounding.
desert listening.
Yeah, and it was not your typical desert listening either. It was something that sounded different. It was very, I wouldn't call it shoegazy. There was a lot of echo and delay and stuff, but it was also, it was just a really cool band. I liked them a lot. But so the guitarist, the other guitarist, Thomas, from All That Remains, As I Lay Down.
Every time I die.
Every time I die, yeah.
See?
I'm the same way. Anyway, he comes out and talks to us.
And he has a little spiel, and he says, our drummer Goose, everybody was saying,
Everybody started yelling
Goose, Goose, Goose. It sucks he had to go home, and he talks about, we nearly canceled the show, but we, it's the end of the tour. We didn't think that'd be fair, even though we're going to be back in April. And
I wanted to leave immediately when I heard this. I was like, I don't want to see this.
So he goes, what? He goes, earlier in the tour in Philadelphia, we multi-tracked the show. And so today, our engineer spent all day getting the drums mixed down and ready for tonight's show. So tonight, we're playing to recorded drums from a live show we did in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, shit. That's pretty damn creative.
And
Hey.
Greg, the thing is,
Under the circumstance.
when I first started hearing that, I was like, how is Greg going to play off that? Because Greg's a very live, dynamic, like he plays off of the atmosphere that's happening. Yeah, he plays off of the atmosphere of the stage and the crowds. Like, how is he going to be so psycho? How are all the guys going to be so psycho?
Pearl Jam, Even Flow. Like, you have the breakdown in Even Flow and Eddie Vedder run around and jump on things.
Yeah, that's Greg.
That's what Greg does, but it's only a lot heavier. The breakdown's a lot heavier. So they didn't do that. They didn't have all that working with them. It was a pretty straightforward show, and they all kept looking at each other like,
is this working? Is it
we're in time, right? And this is this part, and this is that.
That's not good to do that.
They were all just making sure, but they're playing to recorded drums. And a lot of times it was the count-ins,
Sure.
Yeah, you would see them. They would count like
they look like 1, 2, 3.
Because they didn't have their security blanket.
Oh yeah.
So, and a lot of the drums, since they were recorded live, would have count-ins. You'd hear them. But it was pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
seeing
it kept
a
our
big
attention.
band do that for a tour, and we watched the whole show and was like, that's pretty impressive that they pulled it off, and it sounded pretty damn good. There were no mistakes or anything. It was like,
what was the venue? It was the
studio at the
studio at the factory, which is confusing to me.
The old Deep Elm Live.
Oh, okay. That makes sense to me.
That makes sense
but why
to me.
can't is it part of it's part of the same ownership?
The same ownership owns that entire building.
See, I wish they would go back to like
this is Deep Elm Live.
Yeah, that'd make everything a lot easier too. But also, like when venues change the name of the venue that's inside the venue, I don't like that anymore. I just call it the small stage or something like that. Like they did
because it's called the Crowler Room or the something room.
It bugged me when Bronco Bowl
Room.
did it when they had the Canyon Club.
Canyon
It's
Club,
like,
yeah.
Come on, just small stage.
Yeah.
We don't need to trick it up. So
next thing you know, the Halton
I gotta
Theater is
tell
going
you
to be calling
something.
their small stage.
I didn't
something
talk
else.
about this.
That's
We went to another show that we're about to get into.
The
after
next
this.
or 2 nights later, we went next door.
Yes, the same venue except
In
the
the
big
factory,
stage,
the big factory.
and saw King Diamond.
Yes.
So this is the first time I've been to
So
Element probably since. Man, it's been like
I don't count that as going to Elm really though, because you and I
I
got
do.
in and out.
oh yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say, man. Dallas is looking good. I thought Dallas. I didn't just driving in and driving out. I was very impressed with because you hear all this stuff from Fort Worth people. Man, Dallas has turned into a big psychopathic dump.
Well,
like but when I went over there, I was like, dude, they're cleaning shit up. Like it's
King
getting
Diamond
back.
night, we were safe though because it was raining and there wasn't a lot of junk to deal with on that night.
Yeah. Any thugs
He's
to dodge?
You're about to kick him in the nuts, aren't you?
What, Dallas?
Yeah.
Well,
I had a good time. Both nights.
know,
I had a great time. And
I had a
everything
great
was
time.
really nice, I thought.
I had a great time, and I like going over there. You're on the fringe. When you're in the factories, you're on
Yeah.
the fringe of Elm. You're right there on the edge.
Yeah, same with the
and-
art company too.
I would still call it
That's cool.
proper.
And it's proper, but you're
Yeah.
right there on the edge of proper. And
Edge of proper.
the parking the first night was great. Second
Yeah.
night was a little shady, but we got it done.
Yeah.
You told me to let homeless people sleep in my tent and watch over my truck.
I thought they could do security well for your vehicle.
Pop the tent open, put them out of the rain, and they could just sit up there and watch over the truck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I still don't. I'd rather stay in Fort Worth if I can.
Yeah.
Than I can.
Yeah, I'm the
I
same
like.
way.
I don't
Yeah.
make it. I don't make it out to Dallas very much.
I don't either.
And that's. I
but
mean,
we did.
I, Melissa and I will go on dates, or maybe we'll go catch a show, or if it's a big show that's playing, it's playing at a venue there. But I don't frequent Dallas as much as I used to. And in fact, the last time that I think my wife's a makeup artist, and there was a venue that she had. It was like a photography studio, and she went to go do some makeup there. And so I got a chance to go to Cafe Brazil. Like it was like in the afternoon, and
Right.
on a Saturday. And so it's starting to in springtime, and it's starting to kind of really ramp up, and
Yeah.
and people are anticipating what's going to happen that night. And for me, an old Deep Ellum goer from the '90s.
That's us,
It was
too.
like, it was like cool bands and great food and this, that, and the other. And it just got really chaotic, like on the road, and like all the honking and all the, craziness. And it's just like, it wasn't the Deep Ellum that I remembered. And
No.
it's in the last few times that I've been going, it has not been that. And everything changes. I understand that. I'm not an old, curmudgeon that doesn't understand change. I get it.
Yeah.
But, you would think that there's some vein of gold that would just continue as far as like great music and great venues.
I think
and great
Ellum's always
bars
going to be
and-
cycle. It's going to be cyclical.
Maybe.
It's always going to be
I
that
mean,
way
dude,
because it
double
goes
wide-
through its.
Double wide, Dada.
Yeah.
Come on, there's the standards that are amazing. Trees.
Yeah.
Whatever. What was that weird club we saw that moved into? What was that?
Club
Club
Curtain
808.
Club.
No, it was right across the street from Cafe Brazil.
Oh yeah,
I was
I
like,
forgot
what
the
the
name.
hell?
I don't remember what the name
Was
was,
that next
but
door
yeah,
to Dada? Yeah.
it was very frat daddy. Like there was a
Yeah.
line and a rope and all that. And
Yeah.
there it goes.
Hmm.
Dooch, dooch, dooch.
Yeah.
What is love?
Can we talk about?
Don't hurt me.
I want to talk about this King Diamond show real quick.
Yeah, well, that's what I
Sure.
was gonna say. Is this is
Yeah,
we
and then
did
I want to talk
2
about
nights
Rock
in a row.
Assembly.
Oh, we are.
Okay.
We
We
got.
will.
We just got to get through this. Shoot the
I
shit.
know,
Sorry,
I know.
man.
It's okay. I'm just joking with you.
The King. I don't know if we spent a lot of time talking about this in the car, but
My
Got-
ears are still ringing.
my ears are still ringing. We got to see our buddy play like 30 feet in the air.
Oh, so awesome.
Oh,
It was
wow.
so awesome.
Yeah.
Matt Thompson.
Matt Thompson on drums with
Oh,
King Diamond
cool.
up in the
Yeah,
air, watching
that's
him play. And I don't think I've ever, and not ever, but it's been a long time since, and I'm not being showing favoritism towards this, but
Oh,
out
yes,
of
you
all
are,
the
and that's
shows we've
okay.
been to lately, I haven't heard drums sound that good.
Yeah, it
in
was-
a
Oh, were
long
they cued in real
freaking
good?
all of them.
Oh
time.
my gosh.
It was
And I-
Overkill. Overkill played too.
I showed him the,
And
and they
90s.
sounded good. The
So did
Overkill
Night Demon.
drums sounded good.
Overkill.
They all
And
sounded
Night
really good.
But when they were going through the set, the King Diamond set, I was just like, God damn, you could hear every hit Matt
Yeah.
was making. There was nothing
It was-
drowned out. And I was like, that is amazing. And I ran all over the venue taking pictures
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get pictures of him up in his cage. But I sent him a text message the next day. I was like, I haven't heard drums sound that good
That was good.
in a while.
It was also
They were so clear and crisp. And
Yeah.
like even standing in the photo pit, I felt like I was getting punched in the chest and it felt
Aw.
great. But just running around and I just kept going. Everything sounds so clean
Mm-hmm.
and so perfectly mixed. Like whoever they've got on that tour working their sound,
Yeah.
he's money.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's freaking money.
Yeah. It was good. I did
They're
the
in
same
Mexico
thing.
City now.
Yeah. How
There
many
you go.
are they just doing one
That's
down
it.
there?
A one-off.
And then he's
night at
off.
Mexico City. Yep.
Well, I did the same thing. Kind of walked around the venue and did, by the sounds board, and then kind of went to stage, left, stage right, and all that. And
Yeah.
just checked it all out, and I agree. It was a old school metal show. Like it was up to 11 on everything. Like you didn't just because the drums were loud didn't mean you couldn't hear what the guitars were doing.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nicely
just
mixed.
it was
really
nicely mixed, but
yeah.
it was 90s mixed. It was up there like they did in the 90s, and it sounded. It took me back. It took me back to like I said, the 90s when you'd go to venues like that and you would just walk away going, I can't hear a damn thing, but it was so awesome, and that's what it
sounded-
sounded like. That was my first time to see King Diamond live. ever.
Oh, okay.
And it was everybody told me it's awesome. Everybody that's seen King Diamond's like, I'll see that band every time they come through from this point on. And I'm the same way. I think even the theatrics were impressive to me. Like the way they
were
used,
cool.
and their setup, their stage, the production value was not over the top. It wasn't cheese.
No,
it was like, no,
it's
this
good.
is and their ballerina or their dancer that they had, she was amazing. I was like, Sherman.
Was it just one, or were there two?
I don't know
I
because
couldn't figure that
they
out.
were both.
It was
If
so
it was
weird.
two, they were both really good.
And then the other girl that was from Norway or whatever,
Mhm.
that was singing the backup with him.
Right? Yeah.
She was cool too.
They were all. It was you could tell how much professionalism how that's a big thing for that show.
Yeah,
Like they put
that's
it,
something.
they have pride in it, and they make sure that they don't bring in, just some yahoo from the Denton Ballet department or something.
From Dufort Records.
Dufort Records, yeah.
Somewhere. Because Dufort
actually-
Records
Is
has
that-
a ton
right.
of
Is that really a
ballet.
thing? The Denton Ballet Department.
I
Like
don't
that's
know.
a city. Like there's the water department.
Yeah.
There's the ballet department.
Well, I was going to throw in UNT, but
It's a utility.
Well, you didn't pay
It's
your
part of the
ballet
taxes.
bill this
Your
month,
taxes.
so we're going to have to shut down your ballet arena.
part of your property taxes goes to the ballerina department. But kudos though, Matt.
Yeah,
that was
you-
awesome, man.
you,
that was a great show.
I knew you liked the show when we were driving home and you could only talk to me in falsetto. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
That's
I knew
that's a good
you
sign.
were in on it.
Yeah.
That's a good
It
sign.
was good. It was very
Do
good.
you want to stop for food? No. I can't even do it.
I'll take a number 2.
It's like, okay.
Upsize. Root beer.
I needed to get that upside.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It was the thing that's really cool about both of these shows. Once again, and this is probably going to be the same case for this Fort Worth Rock Assembly shindig that's coming up. That's going to be awesome. Is the kid factor and the parent factor. It's like
Yeah, there were kids.
it's
And
kids and this whole family is going and these
taking their kids to worship the devil.
and these kids were into it. Like I can't.
That's how Ghost
they were
is,
like
too.
almost crying.
Yeah.
Those
It's
kids-
just like Ghost.
no.
It was just like that. It was
But
the
Ghost-
same kids, parents, uncles, aunts all going together.
Ghost is the Hot Topic kids. I think these were just kids that were with their parents. That their parents were like, "You need to see this guy because he invented black metal."
I
Or
don't
he's
think-
one of
the
the
theatrical metal.
he's one of the first guys that were over
Painted
there
his-
in the black
Yeah.
metal scene, and
Yeah.
he might have come to America because he burned some churches.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we
awesome
also,
show though.
we also got the invite to go see him overseas
Oh,
this summer.
why don't you
Yeah.
take advantage of that, gents?
Go to
Funds.
Wacken or Hellfest.
We have to get some funds
Oh
together.
shit, Vakken.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
time for some money.
I would love to go to that
I
festival.
want to go to
though.
Vaca too.
Yeah. I don't have a
It's
full blown
either
passport.
or.
I just have the passport junior. Damn it.
What does that mean?
How?
The one
What
that
does that mean?
Yeah, what is that?
That's the one
Like,
that-
you get to go to half
that's the passport
hemisphere,
card
or
that
one of the
only
hemispheres?
No, that's the passport card that only allows you via
Cruises or
yeah,
something?
a sea, land, or car travel to Mexico and Canada, but that's it.
What a
Doesn't even cover
waste.
air. But those are the only two countries you can go to with it.
Why don't you get a real one? It's not that big a deal.
At the time, my,
As much
made
as you
my
like to
trip, it was
travel?
cheaper.
But you like to travel. You should have that. Everybody should have
Yeah.
their passport.
I need to.
Do you properly represent the show when you travel? Do you tell everybody like when you're in
He-
Norway?
He properly,
I just-
he properly represents his puppet.
Yeah, because I just recently became an official part of the show, Tony. Like,
Yeah.
this is my third
Like-
official show being part.
Oh,
Running
okay.
video.
I
Yeah.
guess I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Sorry.
All right, two
It's
other
okay.
things I want to hit super quick because both happened to Cicada. This is gonna be a Cicada heavy show. So Tyler,
Oh, yeah.
pad my hand
What?
with cash.
Easy.
Oh.
Cash.
Thought you
Let
meant
me
like
write
s-
these checks right
Thought
quick.
you meant like stamp your hand so he can
Yes,
go in
Tyler
and
and
out.
John, pad my hand.
I'm not sure what he's talking about here.
On Wednesday, in between Better Lovers and King Diamond, I got thoroughly weirded out by going to the Krampus party at Cicada.
That looked so
With
It looked
Skin
badass.
and drum.
amazing.
It was awesome. It was
Dude,
so awesome.
I've heard
It was
good
a different
things.
planet.
I've
yeah.
heard good things, man. It was
And I
so
really
cool.
wish like she was doing this one more time before Christmas or one more Wednesday or something before
Yeah.
Christmas like they came up. But everybody showed like I was underdressed. I felt severely underdressed because I didn't have some half animal carcass on me, and skulls and bones and horns.
Yeah, Susie wore
And
her
smell
antlers.
like burnt
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah,
Yeah, her,
like I
her
just
coal leader antlers.
you know, ravaged a small village and then showed up at Cicada and been like, let's dance and drink the wine of virgins.
What exactly is the wine of virgins?
Or the blood of
I want to
virgins?
know.
Did you mean the blood of virgins?
Well, it could be the blood of virgins and then you put the
Oh.
wine, you know. But yeah, it was out of control and awesome. And that whole event
pictures
was just
looked-
badass. It was fun. Oh, okay.
Sorry. Continue.
Like, I don't know if this was all Daniel Katsuk's doing and creation, but
Oh.
whatever they did, it was awesome. It was fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
He's a cool dude. My band opened up for him
he's so
years ago.
spiritual,
My old
and
band.
like this just is right up his alley, and it's so it's so just like hedonistic and
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time, like about midway through, I was like, is this about to break out into an Eyes Wide Shut party? Like, is this what's about to happen with animal carcasses strewn across our nude bodies? But yeah, they didn't.
I
have it.
rub the oil and
It
the
was
blood
alright.
into your skin.
And then on Saturday, rolled back up to Cicada one more time to see Ghost Roper.
Not familiar with them.
I'm not familiar with them either.
So I can't remember who's all in there besides Denver Williams. Susie, help me out.
Oh, another one of his like 4 or 5 bands.
But
Yeah, he's
this
in
is-
11 bands.
Yeah, this is like Americana country,
Yeah, like Matt Mabe too.
and it's so
Is it good?
fucking good. Like to be mesmerized the whole set, just going, oh my god, this is awesome. And I would listen to this and play it, and
The camping music.
yeah, like even Susie's like, I would have this band play my wedding.
Wow.
And if it reaches, that appeal with someone, then they're pretty damn good.
You're at Douglas.
They have
Yeah,
to
Brett
be.
Douglas.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brett Douglas. Okay. Said
Yeah.
Barrett. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ghost Roper's amazing. I highly
I love the
recommend them
name,
going to see
Ghost
it.
Roper.
I do
Yeah.
too. I
Awesome.
think that's great.
It
Yeah.
was
It's like it pays homage to
fantastic.
country legends that have passed. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah, Chuck from the chat room on bass.
Like John Dutton.
Dude, he's incredible.
Yeah.
Chuck's,
Rest in peace.
give
Oh,
me a
did I
break.
spoil
Him
something?
and his wife are just the most amazing.
He plays it up and
musicians.
tight.
What, like way up here,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a fusion bassist?
It
Yeah.
feels good. Yeah. And
Oh
he
my
was
God,
just
that
rolling through it.
That hurts
It's
my
good.
shoulder just thinking about it.
But you can hit all the notes.
Yeah. You can't hit all the notes.
I'm not
But it's
gonna
good,
start
so
this
go check
debate.
them out. All right, so back to Rock Assembly.
Rock assembly.
Since
Yes.
we're still
The reason Tony's here.
it will be at the Cicada.
It will be at the Cicada.
It will
Both.
be
Yes.
this Friday and Saturday night.
It's the last music venue in Fort Worth that still has the Lolas and Rec Room vibes. God
Isn't that weird?
God bless the Rec
It
Room.
kind of is.
I was thinking about
Yeah.
that the
It
other day.
is.
The Rec Room
That's
was so
like the
amazing.
old
I
school
loved the Rec
feeling.
Room, man. I miss that place to this day.
Oh, that's what I
The
wanted to say
grotto.
earlier when we were talking about this and,
And,
everybody being excited is, to be honest, Tony, we haven't had a good event like this or like the Rec Room Revival, which we still have the poster on the floor over
Yeah, I
there.
remember
Oh,
putting
yeah.
that one on.
Or what was the other one you used to put on at Lola's?
Oh,
There was the Rec Room Revival.
We've done Rec Room Revival. We've done Rock Assembly. We did. Back in the day, we did the KTCU shows, which was like we did the Halloween shows that
Yeah.
like I was staring at one of their shows that we did for KTCU for the Good Show back in the day, and we had like Calhoun and all these great bands. That came up from Austin that performed at the show and stuff like that. It's kind of harkens back to the day of like our scene. Whenever I was talking to Brandon from Sovereign Jewelry today, and he was telling me, he was like,
The
"Man,"
Dangets.
yeah, from the Dangets. That's right. He was telling. We were talking. And he was like, man. He looked at the poster because Sovereign Jewelry is one of our sponsors, and I'm going to go into the sponsors in a little bit. But he was telling me, he was like, man, I don't know hardly any of these bands, man. I was like, well, I mean, the scene's changed, and
Mhm.
and he was telling me, he was like, I think a lot of these people, we kind of agreed, a lot of these people play with each other in various bands.
They do.
But there are no longer these like column standard bands that you would go to the Rec Room and you would see the Methinks, you'd see Goodwin, and maybe you'd see Wood Eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's that bill right there, right?
Yep.
And that's you'd go and people were like, that's Goodwin, that's Methinks, that's Wood Eye, that's that they're those bands.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of bands have members that are it's a very incestuous type thing of them all playing in each other's bands and stuff like that.
I talked about this like 3 or 4 years ago. How like there's 8 bands in Fort Worth that
And we
have
were
the same 5 members.
Right, and we're not yeah, exactly. But we're not poo-pooing it.
No,
It's just that I think there's just a new model in how the local music scene goes and how it ebbs and flows and survives. And I personally think it's cool, Denton does that all the time. Denton bands for years in the 90s
yeah,
had all these different members of different bands of different genres even that would perform in the studio or live performances. They were they all just knew each other, and I'm going to get up and play John's part for this song. Okay, come on up, you know it.
That's the way Austin was too. Austin used to be like that.
Yeah,
I
Austin
don't know
was
if they're
that
still
too.
like that because I try to stay away from Austin as much as possible these days.
why the perfumed inner thigh of Yellow Rose just sucks you right in.
That's one of the main things that draws me to Austin. There's nothing else.
Well, this like I
oh,
was,
Coda.
Oh, Formula
Coda.
One races.
Coda.
Bill, yeah.
I mean, the thing is,
Other than
this-
that, are you wait, hang on.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying that Austin is as cool now as it was back in the 90s?
Here we go. Challenge.
back in the 90s.
And let's say the aughts too.
The 2000s.
Yeah, I'd say it still is in the aughts. You just don't go down to Dirty Six. Everybody's moved out. I mean, you can go down if you want to go to the mothership, but everything's kind of moved out in a way. But yeah, there's still cool stuff down there.
Meh.
No. There's the opinion.
I'm over it. I'm over it.
I mean, do I have a need to go down there for music?
Yeah.
No. I mean, last time I went down there for music was when Uncle Toasty played a show down there at Sundown or whatever the hell the place is. And that was fun. That was a cool place. And that
The last real
music thing, but
show, like went down there specifically to go see a band, like stayed with a friend that lived there, but our main focus was to see a band. Stefan Ratliff from Pablo and also with Hotel Satellite. He and I went down to Austin to see the great Chris Whitley perform. The guy that plays like the dobro guitar, and he's real skinny, and he was an amazing guitarist before he passed. But we were obsessed with his album Dirt Floor, and then of course all his other recordings. And he was playing, I can't remember the venue he was playing at. Anyway, we went down there, and he got on stage, and there's like this huge crowd, and we're shoulder to shoulder. And Chris Whitley comes out there, and he's smoking a cigarette. And he puts it down, and he goes, "Thank you." Like before he even plays, and the crowd goes, ah. Like they were ready to see Chris Whitley get up and just do an amazing. I highly recommend listening to the album Dirt Floor by Chris Whitley. It's great music.
Okay.
But that was the last time that I really did a dedicated trip down to Austin to watch, other than when Goodwin played during South by or whatever. But that's like, I mean, you're playing too.
Yeah.
So
You know how you were saying that the last of an era is Cicada, that style, that type of feel of a bar.
It's so Fort Worth.
I think it's happening all over the place. I don't think it's just Fort Worth, but it's sad. Because I'm just trying to rack my brain when y'all said that. Like, what is there besides Cicada right now that has that dingy rock and roll feeling inside of it in Tarrant County? And
I mean,
you're right. They might be the last
Tyler and
one.
John Stevens, obviously, they have worked.
I guess Haltom
they're
Theater's
completely
steeped
in the Farella
It's too big, yeah.
type history that Brian really established as far as that kind of a venue. So for them, it's old hat for them to be able to design their club to be like that. And then John Carney and the other owners of Mass before that.
yeah.
I feel what you're saying. I'm wondering if Cicada goes, if that's the last of that style of live music
type
venue in
venue.
Fort Worth. And
Well,
that's sad. I would be very sad and cry about that.
We got to get one or two others, because there's always been, as long as I can remember, at least like 3 stages to play on. But we're at a point to where it's one stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
either that or you
It's
go
one
out
stage.
to West
The
the
rail.
or and I guess the other place not there anymore. That's not a music venue. The what's it called?
Tomcats.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
what-
one of the
Or
reasons.
in
One of the,
Montgomery Magnolia Motor Lounge
Magnolia Motor Lounge.
is out
Well,
there.
that's one of the reasons. I think that's one of the other motivating factors for
Yeah.
me putting on
And
Rock
Tulips,
Assembly.
maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Tulips is a
kinda
great
got that
venue.
vibe.
Oh, why did I totally forgot about Tulips.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we
Tulips
have
is
two
great.
stages.
And they have-
I'm sorry,
yeah.
my bad.
Amazing
my bad.
stage at Tulips.
Yeah, and that's a fun place to play.
But one of the main reasons
Yeah.
why I wanted to bring back Rock Assembly was also to, yes, it's a tribute show because you're paying tribute to other bands and stuff like that. But I wanted to bring Fort Worth to a very Fort Worth music festival.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
was like that is outside of the norm of what a normal festival is, as far as music is concerned here in the city. And then also, get people inside the club and talking and enjoying each other's company, and maybe going out to the little patio area or going to the vendors that are going to be there, or go getting some food from the food trucks that are going to be there. And they're trading ideas, and they're talking about the scene, and they're talking about these bands, and they're like, aside from Rock Assembly, are you going to go see Hotel Satellite whenever they perform at such and such and such and such? Oh yeah, man. And I want those kinds of dialogues to really start to take bloom again, because we can bitch and moan about the fact that there's not many stages left, and and there's got to be action items that we got to take, and this, even people that have argued that the city's got to do something about it, and this and the other.
But bitching only gets you so far.
But
Yeah.
the real integral work comes from the lovers of the Fort Worth music scene.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And the energy that they bring to inspire those that are doers
Yeah.
to do the hard work, the administrative work, or the work and trying to get monies together, or to get collaborative efforts together. These kinds of events, I love this kind of event, because back in the day, Fort Worth Rock Assembly used to be one of those things that was an energizer for that. And one of the things I was thinking about the other day was, man, I really hope that a lot of scenesters, newer and older scenesters, they're looking at each other. Maybe they got busy in life since the pandemic, and they haven't been able to get out as much, and they really get some time with these long bills each night to not only enjoy these bands doing that stuff, but also really talk about their scene and talk about what the future of it is, and how parts of it can be preserved and parts of it can be recreated or created.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's important that there are more people besides me that do these kinds of events, because I remember in the late 90s, all the way up, in the 90s and up into the early 2000s, there were all kinds of house shows, and people were putting on these cool little, it wasn't just a 3-band bill at a club. It was, there were people that were putting on like such and such fest, or the such and such party, or the blah, 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 then people would show up, and it was like an event.
Yeah.
It wasn't just you showing up to watch 3 bands do their music that you're fans of, and you're like, that was great, high five, I'm gonna go get some food.
Yeah.
We're done. It is an atmosphere that is created by these events, and we need more of those events, and it needs to be
Absolutely.
involved by not only the lovers of the music, but also the performers of the music here in Fort Worth as well.
Amen, brother.
So
Amen.
I'm off my box. Sorry.
No, that's a good box to be on. Our both scenes, Dallas and Fort Worth, needs to hear this kind of thing.
We're not
because-
talking about Dallas right now. We need to share our love and
Sorry, I said the wrong
Well,
word.
yeah.
No love for Dallas.
Can I say this
Make
one
sure our
thing?
love of Fort Worth is
No love for Austin, no love for Dallas.
Well, there's love for them, but I mean, not right now.
It's not your day.
I do want to say that I do want to get this out. So the sponsors of our show, and I
Yeah, I
wanted
was gonna
to
talk about
shout
that
out.
some.
Shout out.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
mentioned Sovereign Jewelry. Great.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah,
such an
I hold the flyer
amazing
stuffs.
jewelry creator, and you
Brandon's
gotta
a badass.
He's an amazing badass, not only on guitar
Almost
but
bought a
making
ring
jewelry.
from him. Thank goodness I didn't.
BB63
though.
Hair Salon. I've had my hair cut by Cosette. She's incredible.
This
She's
is the
bringing
BB63.
Yeah, BB63. She's coming out, and she actually it's been years since she's done a rock assembly, and she's always sponsored or has sponsored most of them, and she always comes out with a tent, and she always gets like a really cool, unique sweatshirt or T-shirt designed that is not our design. It's her own design, her own take on whatever the event's theme is.
That's
And this
cool.
year, if you go to BB63 social media, you'll see it. It's like this really cool hoodie and like the skeleton with like a
nice.
punk mohawk. It's amazing.
You gotta go look.
Yeah.
Is she selling them?
Yeah, she's selling them.
Sweet.
School of Rock. I can't.
it
We
up right
talked about
now.
School of Rock earlier. They're bringing the kids out to start the set each night, and then of course they're providing the backline instruments and stuff like that. But man, also School of Rock Fort Worth, it's churning out great musicians. It's basically churning out kids that are going to be part of the future music scene here, and we got to support places like School of Rock.
I absolutely love that, man.
Yeah, we got to.
Question.
Uh-huh.
They are teaching them more than Led Zeppelin these days, right?
No, they're teaching them the business. Well, they're also teaching them the business of music, and also, it's not just hey, learn how to play an instrument. They want them to be prepared because
That's good because
Yeah.
the business side of it is what screws everybody.
Well,
up.
yeah, and
People get
and
lost
also
about.
being prepared. It's just like any other educational system that tries to prepare the kids. That's exactly what they're doing, but in terms of music. So, my nephew was part of it. We also have the Cicada is a sponsor. They've really helped us, with all the resources they're providing for the event.
I think we've talked about them enough this show.
No, we haven't. We need to keep talking about them.
John Taylor.
Near Southside Fort Worth. The Cicadas in near Southside, and Megan and Natalie and Mike and Woody, they've really helped us out. We were at the Southside meeting last week, and they had this scroll that they were showing all the members of the different events that are going to be occurring these next 2 weeks in Fort Worth, and ours prominently popped up, and I got to stand up and talk about Rock Assembly. And I brought out these special flyers that had my event company information on it. And there was a guy that I kind of explained a little bit what my company does. And this guy goes, hey, man, give me one of those. And so I gave him like a regular flyer. And he's like, no. Give me your contact information. I was like, yes. Maybe
What's the name of your
client.
company?
Sweet.
It's a Diaz Event Logistics and Management.
Damn. Got it.
After a hard day's work, I finally remember.
Or Dell's for short.
Yeah, that's there you go.
Any more sponsors?
Yes. The Cicada Fort Worth Weekly is a sponsor. They've been incredible in sharing.
We know those guys.
They're a promotional sponsor. They've been promoting the hell out of the show really well on social media.
Good.
They've been helping us a lot. And those are the sponsors. They're incredible. All those sponsors. So
We used to be a sponsor. You didn't ask us, Tony, this year.
I'm a real estate
See how
agent
it
too.
is.
I would have sponsored it.
I know.
Good grief.
I know. I should have asked you guys. I don't know. We sometimes we lose contact. Sometimes.
I know. It's
We
all
drift
good.
apart.
There's life.
And then when we
Hey.
find each other, it's like this really heated love affair, and then we drift apart
Passionate.
again.
Now, when you want to do this headache next year, we're in.
Yeah,
for sure.
Also, people can buy tickets online at prekindle.com. All you have to do is go to Prekindle and just type in Fort Worth Rock Assembly. It'll take you right to the event.
And I
And
saw
their
the
fees are a
packages.
hell of a lot less than Ticketmaster, so you can't blame that.
Yeah, it's only $13 for 1 day event. It's if you go to one of the days, it's only $13. If you buy a 2-day pass, it's $26. We have a thing called a Fort Worth Rock Assembly Super Pass.
That's what I want to know about. What is that?
It's a 2-day pass, which is the 2-day pass is really cool ornate lanyard that you get. It's kind of commemorative lanyard for the show. You get a free FWRA T-shirt. You get a swag bag that has all kinds of little goodies that we've put in there from different sponsors and stuff, including raffle tickets because we're going to do a raffle for the show on Saturday, and so you could win a really cool prize. It's $45.
Okay, cool, sweet. All right, so let's do the rundown because we haven't touched this yet.
Sure.
Here we go. Friday.
Yeah.
Starts at 6 p.m. with School of Rock.
Yep.
Then at 7 p.m.,
Dolan
doing Chris Cornell Soundgarden.
Exactly.
At 8 p.m., Hotel Satellite doing Radiohead.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell you.
Which, yeah, that's going to be crazy. At 9 p.m., Mountain Kid doing Thrice.
Yes,
who we saw earlier this year, right?
I
Or last
wasn't
year?
familiar with
it was this year.
Thrice until I came up. Until I created my little Spotify list.
Well, you're not emo.
But it's good. It's
is good.
really good,
Yeah,
and they're
Thrice
really
right on.
incredible
They play
musicians.
on PRS.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
And then
Like Chappelle.
at 10 p.m., the Nancys are doing Travis.
Yes.
And then at 11 p.m., this is where my brain melts.
Mine melted when I got the email that's what they wanted to go for it.
No, go for it. You go ahead.
No,
Explain to
no.
everybody in here.
No, just go ahead and read it off first.
Richardson times 2.
Yeah, it's Jordan Richardson, Michael Richardson.
Yep. Both of them. Then who else?
Jenny Mac.
Jenny Mac, Doty,
Yep.
Russo,
Uh-huh.
Hull.
Yeah.
And is that everybody?
That's it. That's everybody. They're
Yeah, okay.
recreating the album Countdown to Ecstasy by Steely Dan. Not just doing
Which is
random
crazy.
Steely Dan songs. When I put that album on my list, I listened to the whole entire album. That's a task. It's not easy to do. I mean, that's a lot of work they're trying to recreate in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Nick's super excited about it because he shot me a message last week and was like, "Hey, are you free? Because I want someone to video this for us with
Yeah.
gear." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm free. Let me make sure." And I was, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do it." And he's like, "Good, because I want this documented because."
Dude,
He's happy about it, and they've done a badass job. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this.
dude,
It's gonna be insane.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you wanted an all-star lineup as far as musicians in not only in Fort Worth or North Texas, but like nationally, Jordan
Yeah.
Richardson, Grammy Award-winning producer, Mark Lettieri.
Lettieri's who we forgot.
Yeah. I mean, dude, this is a who's who of amazing
Yep.
musicians that are going to be covering this album, and it is so super anticipated. There's people I know who are coming from Dallas. There's a couple.
I think there's people already camping out for
Yeah,
it.
I have there's a couple that
That's
reached-
where I'm going after this.
I didn't know this, but like I guess they're friends with Jordan Richardson. They're coming from Arkansas to come watch this
Yeah.
performance.
It's
We had
crazy
this one
cool.
guy that
Nice.
was asking online, is like, "Hey, we're coming to your show. We need to know where a hotel is in Fort Worth that's close to the club." So I'm like, "Yes,
That's
these
nice.
things,
That's what you
these
want.
things. That's what I
These
want."
things, yeah.
Saturday night.
Saturday night, which I thought it started at 6, but it doesn't. It starts at 7,
Yeah.
which is fantastic for something we'll talk about here in a minute.
Okay.
At 7 p.m., School of Rock, Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
Then 8 p.m., Joe Gorgeous doing the Presidents of the United States
Come
of America.
Come on.
That was the first concert I ever saw at the Bomb Factory.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
That'll
They're
be
gonna
fun
be
and silly.
bouncing off the
Yeah.
stage. They're gonna
That'll
be
be fun
bouncing
and
on the
silly.
stage.
It makes me wonder if they're also going to play the same types of guitar configurations as they did.
The
the
guitar
three string
and a
three
guitar with 2 bass strings.
Yeah, bass
Yeah.
strings.
Yeah, the bass player had 2 bass strings.
Yeah, Chris
right? Was
Value.
it-
Yeah.
Is it going to make everybody move to the country
And
and eat a lot of peaches?
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Maybe.
Good.
Yes.
I am.
Then
I
at
love
9
peaches.
p.m., we get to worship the devil with Blake Sabbath doing Black
He's bringing the
Sabbath.
darkness.
Oh yeah.
He's already kind of he's
Who
kind
else
of
playing with him?
alluded to me who is who.
Yeah, who's
What-
in his band?
Because I want to.
I'm
interested
who
Actually,
is
I'm
in it?
interested in all of it, but
I don't know all.
Black Sabbath right in the middle.
He has not told me who all is in
Are you
his
texting
band.
I can't beat that.
No, but
text
I
him real
do
quick.
know that I think Lee Leisurely is in it.
Nice.
And I also think that Eric Webb, who normally plays with the Cutthroat Finches, is no. I'm sorry. Eric Webb is playing with. No, he's doing the Smashing Pumpkins. My bad. Sorry. I
All
think
right.
Lee is definitely in it. I don't know who else is in it. Blake has not really alluded. Maybe it's a secret.
Might be. Might
Maybe it
be.
is a secret, so we'll see about that.
Yeah.
And then at 10 p.m. is Brandon Lee of Flickerstick and friends
I mean,
doing Smashing Pumpkins.
he's got okay.
That'll be cool.
We had to switch his set
Oh yeah.
because he has a member of his band flying in from the West Coast
To do it,
to play the show.
that's awesome.
Again, you're like, this is the shit you want.
Yeah,
this is what
means
you
he's
want.
means he's taking it really serious. So.
So
Even and like whenever he told me, he's like, dude, we got to switch it because I've got to get this guy in from. Like, he's flying in and then he's flying out. Like he's flying out after the show. He's like,
what's he flying into Meacham on a private jet?
I don't
and then
know.
getting
But he said this. He was like,
Card
we've
down.
been working really hard on this. I don't want to miss it. I was like, okay, like, okay,
All right.
well, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Um,
But when it works out great because first of all, let's go on to the next band, which is amazing.
I was just thinking
Mr.
that.
Todd Camp and the Bikini Whales.
yeah, Bikini
Yeah.
Wells
Oh,
doing
cool.
B-52s.
The B-52s.
That'll be awesome.
My whole
Which-
junior high experience was REM, the B-52s, and Depeche Mode, and I haven't. We played with them in September,
You
but
did.
we had to leave early, and I caught like maybe half a song, and now I get to watch the whole damn set, and I'm going to light myself on fire. I'm so happy.
That set at y'all's
Self-immolation?
show was amazing.
No,
That they did. Now y'all set I'm going to get to in a minute.
Okay.
But the Bikini Well set was freaking amazing.
Oh yeah, I
It
heard
was so
nothing but
awesome.
great things about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah. it
No,
was
I
awesome.
heard great things about it. And then we're gonna end the night like on a party note. I mean, it's literally a party note. It is Black Market Garden.
Mhm.
Jack Bellamy, who's the son of Chris Bellamy from The Good Show.
Mhm.
Jack Bellamy is leading his band Black Market Garden, and they are doing Tears for Fears. If everybody's not
We
up on
nearly
their
did.
feet and it's just a big huge sing along, the last set of Rock Assembly,
Yeah.
then we didn't do our job.
Yeah.
It's going to be
That's
amazing.
gonna be good. It's gonna be a fun night. That's a whole fun weekend.
Yeah.
I
can't wait for that.
Why is there not a YouTube band on here?
So our guitarist,
Mhm.
we were going to be on it,
Okay.
and our guitarist, he hurt his shoulder,
Oh,
and he
okay.
had to go through surgery. We're going to play the Cicada on January 17th, but he
I'll be here. That's my
he
birthday.
could not perform. He was like, man, I just can't. I got to rehabilitate this. There's no way that I'd be able to perform. And so we said, man, okay, we'll just take a break from Rock Assembly.
I
and
blew
we'll
my
come,
knee out once.
We'll
and
come back,
ate
but we're gonna.
17
I mean,
hydrocodones
I'll
and
tell you
played.
this:
No.
our YouTube band,
On a bar
even better
stool.
than the real thing. I'm playing with some heavy hitters. Man.
Yeah, you are.
You are, and the y'all's first night at Cicada was amazing.
Thank you.
It was absolutely like y'all played everything I wanted to hear, and then some even deep cuts that I
Yeah.
was just like, wow, okay, y'all are whipping these out too. And it was cool how y'all did it, except starting with y'all started with Beautiful Day, right?
No,
Or Elevation?
no, we started with Where the Streets Have No Name. That's where we.
That's
started.
what you started with? I
Uh-huh.
thought you started with a new one and then went chronologically.
Uh-uh.
Or it was with Streets Were No Name and then
Uh-huh.
went back in time?
And then we went back in time. We really didn't have any rhyme and reason as far as like following the succession of albums. We basically put the set together so that all the guitar changes and everything
Were easy.
Were easy to do.
Yeah.
Because here's the
That
thing.
makes sense. Yeah.
U2 live, it's not. It really isn't just four dudes showing up and just playing. Early '80s. Post punk.
Each dude has their own
Pop,
dude.
Irish pop. No, and when we learned all the different stuff, like the key stuff, and Jeremy's having to wrangle his pedals for his bass certain ways for certain songs and stuff like that, and then the delayed guitar playing by Kevin. None of this is an easy task, and then his voice is. In the early '80s, his voice could go really, really high, but we were having time constraints in terms of getting rehearsals together, and so we were able to kind of modulate some of the songs as best as we could if we had time to learn it, and then others we just kind of left it alone, and then I just kind of got creative if I couldn't hit the note. So,
That's when you just hold the mic out the crowd.
yeah,
and be like,
you
"No, help me
sing.
out.
No,
Help me.
you
know
sing.
this song.
No,
you know this song. Come
sing the
on,
song.
Sing
No,
with
you
me.
sing. Yeah.
But it was a great set.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Oh,
I
thank
was
you.
like, this
Thank you.
was awesome. And you could tell y'all had spent some time putting it all together,
Yeah.
and making everything sound as close. I mean, I've seen you two a lot live, and it felt like seeing them live.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
Why did
It
you
was
two
really good.
bring a ladder to the concert?
I don't know.
Because the Edge wanted to reach new heights.
Is there like a?
Why did Bono fall off the stage?
Did you ask ChatGPT? You two
I'm afraid to ask.
He still hadn't found what he was looking for.
Haha.
I mean, here's funny, and then here's
Chat
like-
GPT funny?
here's funny, and then your jokes being in proximity to funny, like you're in Plano. That's where funny.
That's where the armpit jokes are at.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Rock Assembly, and,
Rock
and we're gonna
Assembly.
have a bunch of great vendors and great food.
Are y'all blocking off the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
So partially.
Yes, that's awesome.
So yes.
Except I don't know where I'm going to park.
We're okay. Well, we're going to parking is what we're telling bands and everybody's like, if you have especially some of the bands that have a lot of equipment like that really need to be close to the club, they can park in spaces. But we're encouraging people to park at in legal spaces around the club. Not only that, but there's going to be patrons that are going to be going back and forth between the food trucks and the vending area.
I just
So-
park inside the fence of the milk area, the milk place. Just,
you just
hey guys, y'all watch it. Here's the keys.
Oh, the Vandervoort milk.
You just tell Vandervoort. What does
My shtick
Vandervoort?
now.
Does Vandervoort know?
Yeah. When you leave, you grab your gallon of ice cream, take
Yeah.
off.
We have a random car in our parking lot.
It's that same weirdo.
Same weirdo that keeps coming scared.
Block the gate.
Call the FWPD.
We've towed him like 17 times.
But yeah, it's gonna be. We
awesome.
wanted a little mix of everything. We got some great food. We got some great vendors.
What's the food situation?
So Holy Frijoles. We've got Chili Pepper Grill. We've got Crazy Burger,
Hungry.
Sweetland, and then we have a vegan option in Compatible Delights.
Awesome.
And then we're about to launch our list of vendors tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So it hasn't been.
No, not yet.
released.
We
Okay.
haven't released it yet. So
Right on.
we're still kind of negotiating with a couple of them, but we're probably gonna have about 6 or 7 vendors.
Awesome.
Both days, so it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It's been 5 years. I've been out of the swing of it, and I've had to take my working with community events hat off and put on just a pure rock and roll event hat on. And it turns out that I've gotten fatter, and the hat is so small on my head now.
That's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
Hey,
happened to all
dude,
of
you it's helping the community too, though. So you're doing good.
Maybe
It's all
I hope.
synergy.
Well, like I said, I think if we can get a lot of musos and people that love the music scene in the same building and out in the area for food trucks and vendors, and they're all mingling amongst each other, maybe we start to kind of light the fire into some conversations about about sustainability for the scene. So
Right. Was there a time where you did it 2 times a year? Or was it always just been
No, it's
an
just-
annual?
it
So
was
it
just a
all
once a
really
year.
had, like
I didn't
ChatGPT
think
was
it had.
correct.
yeah, it's a lot of
It's always
planning.
been an
It's
annual
a
thing.
lot of planning, and not only that, but you
I
have to
believe
also take into account that if these bands are very active, like they're on tour or they're doing, then you're
Getting all their
asking them,
schedules.
to learn
Yeah.
other people's music that maybe this is really way out of their comfort zone.
When did you start working on it?
On this one?
Mhm.
We started working on the laying the groundwork in March, and then we sent the ask to the bands at the beginning of June, end of May, early June. No, actually, it was May that the end of May we started to put the ask out, and that's a good. Even then, you're starting to push it because again, these bands have their own acts and stuff that they're doing musically, and not only that, but their own jobs and everything.
Yeah.
And then you throw in there, oh, by the way, you're going to need to learn an hour's worth of music. Even if you like it, you're going to be surprised if you've never done a tribute show or a cover show.
Yeah.
Like for me, man, I can't believe how many lyrics I made up when I was singing U2 in the car. And then I had to learn all of Bono's.
Like, I'm wrong on all this.
What's this doing?
Oh, he said that instead. I've been singing this wrong
I've
for
done that
24
in my own
years.
bands.
Oops.
Nothing's funner than doing one of these cover shows, but the rest of your band wants to do something, and you're the one that's going, I'm not real big on that band.
Well, luckily
but,
for us, it was the same before we dropped out. The U2 band is the same lineup that we had for the Peter Gabriel band
there
that
you
we
go.
did for Rock Assembly in 2019.
Oh, that works out.
Peter Gabriel's music,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
holy cow. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like there was a lot of times whenever we were like discovering certain little hidden parts of production that you never knew that he did, that we're all looking at each other like, really? Come on. Really? Oh God. We gotta remember it? Ugh.
All right, I found it. So here's the deal.
Yes.
I was trying to find
Here's the deal.
on Saturday,
Uh-huh.
pregame, before the rock assembly.
Okay.
You want to pregame. You want to go out. You want to get, tie a couple drinks on before driving over to Cicada and spending the evening there. Over at Hoppin' in the, dang it, I forgot what that area is called. We just talked about it yesterday morning. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway,
7th, right there.
off Curry, right
Curry.
next to Doc's Records.
Yeah.
The Blackland Distillery. The Foundry District.
Yeah, Foundry. That's
The
it.
Foundry District, that's what it's
The
called, right?
Foundry. There's
Yeah.
not a foundry around there. There's Omaha. You can buy your Army surplus stuff and go to war.
Yeah, I was going to say Omaha's Army surplus.
Anyway, our buddy Andrew over at Fort Worth Roots and
Boo.
our other buddy, Richard Keller, are having their A Very Itchy Christmas 3 Shitters Full. It's his album release party. The Itchy, Richie and the Burning Sensation, their album release.
Yeah.
Sponsored by
Party.
Benadryl. Boom.
Wow.
I-
that was, that was a thing you did.
I'm going to
He
do
did
more
it.
YouTube.
That was
jokes.
Can you
ChatGPT
demote
jokes.
him? Maybe or just like
Dude, that's
time
no worse than
out?
your fucking YouTube jokes.
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, I have to admit.
And I came up with that
yours
shit on
were-
the fly. I didn't use
yours-
GPT to look that
He's
up.
got you by the
Oh, we know you
cojones
came
there,
up
my
with that on the
friend.
fly.
'cause
guys, calm
your-
down. I'm
your
gonna have to
jokes
pull
were-
this podcast over and wear you both out.
Okay, go on, go on. Sorry.
So it's going to be the celebration of the release of Itchy's newest record, 100 Monkeys and a Broken Clock. And then Jeff Zero in his own private universe are going to kick off music at 3 p.m.
Hey, Jeff Zero.
This event is from 2 to 6. So then you have an hour to make the drive from the Foundry
That long haul.
all the way over to
Mhm.
Cicada, which I think in an hour you could probably do on a bicycle. It's not that far.
Yeah.
So run over there, pregame at Hoppin',
Mhm.
see some early music,
There you go.
then roll over to, because that's what I'm going to do. You want to hang out with me? That's what I'm going to be doing.
Hey,
You want to come see me?
great weather too.
Come hang out.
Looks like
If you want to rock around, then
no
come see me.
rain, no snow,
What are you going to do?
just a bunch of wind like normal.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, this weekend. What are you doing?
I really want to
Work on
Go
your
to-
bathroom some more.
But no, my bathroom's done. I really
Okay.
want to go to both these events. Yeah. My question is though, just out of curiosity, is this an all ages event or is it 21 and up only?
It is 21 and up.
Son of a bitch! I have my daughter this weekend.
Get rid of her. Put her in a cage.
Put her. Did you say put her in a cage or her cage?
Drop her
like
off at
it's
QT.
like it's a normal instance that you.
Well, put her in her cage.
You go to your cage right now. I'm going to Rock Assembly.
Get.
Get. Well,
No, it is 21 and up. We're obviously making exceptions for the kids for School of Rock.
Oh.
Their X in their hands and stuff like that. If you were to contact me outside of the show, I might maybe able to make an exception if I know you're coming.
Okay. Well, she's actually 18. Yeah, but
Well, yeah. Just
Yeah.
why don't you reach out to me after the show? And by that,
okay.
just talk to me.
Yeah.
we'll
We'll talk.
turn the microphones off. Just talk to him.
I'll see what I can do. I mean, Tyler and John are really cool about that. When we played the U2 show, I obviously my nephew came, and he just needed his hands X'd, and his mom was with him the whole time. And if you're there and you don't, if maybe you bring the cage out, and then you just know she's
The
not going to
cage.
go anywhere.
Yeah, my son's come out to a couple of shows that I've played up there.
Yeah,
And
My
just
daughter
X
came
his hand
to
down.
the
just got to follow the
corn show.
rules.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the corn show.
Mhm.
Yeah, your kids are adults too.
Hey man,
Two-
Speaking
Yeah.
of which,
I'm sorry your kid came because they're doing shots back there. I thought we talked about that.
well, the problem is, we keep finding different sons and daughters at the cigarette machine buying cigarettes.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
All right. Since we're talking about, or we kind of we're talking about this very itchy Christmas and Fort Worth roots. Did you see the show notes?
Yeah, I did.
Did you fly your helicopter around? Oh, you didn't fly your helicopter.
No,
today,
we were
did you?
grounded this morning.
Oh, fog issues, right?
Fog issues
Fog issues.
and
It is foggy this morning.
domestic issues.
Okay. Well, we won't go any further than that.
Candy, she got rough.
Candy.
She's the pilot.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Candy.
She's a whore too.
Is she?
Okay.
How's her jugs?
Enough of that talk.
How's her jugs?
God.
But I was on there yesterday.
hmm
I was, and you joined, but
I
I
did.
sat in with Andrew yesterday.
Candy was okay that day.
And I don't know if you know this, but after I left the show and it was posted, about midway through the day, I started getting all sorts of weird phone calls that there's a conspiracy going on with Fort Worth Roots, and then I need to watch my back. I could be involved in a conspiracy
Whoa,
theory.
what?
What?
Like
Yeah,
Alex Jones.
I want to know some deets on this.
like
Are
Maybe
you
not
the
now,
next
but I'll find,
Diddy?
like-
no, and it's not that bad.
Okay.
It's not that
No.
bad. But I want to play you the audio from the beginning of
I
the
was
show.
gonna
Yes.
Okay, I want to play the beginning of the audio. It's
This is where the conspiracy
this is
theory
where the conspiracy
stems
starts.
from.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What
And
did you do?
it seems to be, as of yesterday, it wasn't that wide, but today it started hitting the Twitter universe or the X universe.
Reddit's
started
all over
going,
it.
Reddit's all over it. So let me play it here real
Blue
quick.
sky.
You ready? Listen.
Just kidding.
Good morning, Fort
Hear it?
Worth. It is 9 December.
Rolling.
You got Andrew and Dustin Schneider from the Jerry Jonestown
Yeah.
podcast.
Good morning, Fort Worth. It's a beautiful day out there today. It's going
Is
to be a
it?
nice sunny day
It's right here.
after
Listen.
it warms up to almost 70 degrees today. But this afternoon we're going to have a brisk cold front moving in. So be sure to have a jacket on you of some sort because it could get cold, and it's going to be cold the rest of this week.
I'm showing a high of 50 today.
Oh, no, it's going to get cold. It's going to get
You're
close to
gonna come
70
jacket
before the
off.
front hits.
So Tuesday,
Right here.
we got
Listen.
32 degrees for the high and 22 for a low with a 20% chance of rain.
Because you're in Capitol Hills, Illinois.
Oh, my God.
You're not even in Fort Worth. You're a Fort Worth podcast,
my
and your
gosh,
goddamn weather's
that's
not
terrible.
even in the right city.
So here's where the conspiracy comes in.
Wow.
He was reading the weather for someplace in Illinois. So then some people
You said
started.
32 was going to be our high.
Yeah. And rainy. And he was like looking at me, giving me weird looks as I was talking about the weather. And then he's like, none of this computes. What you're saying doesn't compute what's on my screen. And I look over and he's looking at some Joe Schmo town in Illinois. So here's where the conspiracy comes involved. There's a few people that have asked me about this. They put two and two together and they've started kind of tracking things around. They think Andrew is doing podcasts for multiple cities from one location.
Ooh.
He gets up early. He does
So
one,
it's like a canned show like Clear Channel used to do with the
Like-
Mikey Morning Show.
or like he does 30 minutes for whatever Capitol Hill, Illinois, or wherever he was looking at,
Capitol Hill roots.
and then he does 30 minutes for Fort Worth, and then who knows? I've left, but all his equipment's still set up. He could probably do another 30 minutes for I don't know, Jerome, Arizona.
Yeah, that'd be a cool.
Just reading the stuff off
be
the
easy weather there.
easy weather, and then moving on to Sacramento, California, or something. The Sacramento roots.
I hope not. That would hurt my feelings because I
So-
thought we were original.
There's some people out there checking things out.
Cool.
They're doing some research and
Some
they're
skip
watching what he's
tracing?
doing. I think it's a great conspiracy.
I think it is too.
It's entertaining at least.
It is. And then I started thinking, man, that'd be really easy to do. And then you just start getting sponsors at all these different towns, little boutique shops.
I think that's what Clear Channel and Sirius do.
So why don't we do that? Why don't we start our own pod
For
channel?
Tyler,
Clear
Texas.
Pod.
Just start dominating Texas.
All you do is got to go.
You know what? We
drive
should
out.
stop talking about this because he's probably listening.
That son of a bitch. If it's not a conspiracy, it probably will be now.
Yeah.
He'll do it on his own. Anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. I've had some texts going, is Andrew doing this for multiple cities? Maybe he's not just all about Fort Worth after all.
Maybe it's Capital. What was it?
Like
Capital-
Capitol Hill,
yeah,
Illinois or something
Capitol
like
Hill, Illinois.
Capitol Hill City
that. Yeah,
roots.
Or Capitol Hill. roots.
maybe.
Capital Roots. Is that what you said? Capital Roots. Capital Hill City
Capitol
roots.
Hill, Capital City, Capital something.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tony, I got a question for you.
Yes.
How do you feel about them closing up the Fort Worth Community Arts Building?
I didn't know about this. Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh, I have to admit that I didn't know that either.
Yeah, they're talking about. Yeah, I mean it's empty now, but it's been on all the news and everything as of late. That
Oh
they're
no,
closing
I
it up.
did hear that. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I did hear. I don't know.
That
I
they're
mean,
shutting
it's
it down.
yet another space in Fort Worth that is not going to be able to be utilized by some sort of
Are they not gonna move?
community
That's got an amazing stage in
entity.
it.
Yeah.
Are they
And
not moving?
that bowl? They're talking about moving the art center or
Mhm.
moving the arts somewhere else, but it's not going to be as cool of a
Because of the
building.
building.
That building's awesome, but they say it needs $30 million in repair.
It's. I mean,
There's probably some
sometimes you got to chalk
asbestos
something
in
up
there.
a loss. You got to kind of look at the the money you're going to invest in trying to make it safe and then make it usable for different community organizations or a specific one that has its site on it.
I'd like to see that built.
I
That
mean,
$30
man, there's
million
there's a
estimate.
million buildings in Fort Worth that I want to see renovated that I know the powers that be downtown will never pour any money in those in, but at the same time, it would cost an arm and a leg for them to destroy it as well.
And they won't, for some reason, they won't let them go.
No.
It's like a weird power trip. They won't let these buildings go because, I mean, we were involved with a big building
Mhm.
that was going to be renovated and turned in that had a whole bunch of investors behind it. But that, finding out the little mafia that the downtown city has about,
Who's going to be renovated and who's not?
what they're going
Or
to do with
who's
these
gonna be
buildings.
kept.
Is it gonna step on our toes if you're doing something like this? Maybe, no one wants to do anything for the arts downtown.
I don't understand that either, because that's one of the things that I was thinking when we drove back from both times when we cut through downtown Dallas and when we were coming back from Deep Ellum, was how much things were really looking good. You could tell that this city council over in Dallas and this mayor, or wait, do they have a city council or just
Yes.
mayor staff? Okay, how they have
both.
made an effort to actually make things good again. And it seems like in Fort Worth, there's a lot of not that. right
How
now.
weird is it
What
that
and it
there's
used to be
more
opposite of that.
pedestrian traffic downtown at night in downtown Dallas than there is in Fort Worth?
Exactly.
now?
That's
It
another
used to be
thing I was
flip-flop.
saying.
No one wanted to go
Right.
downtown Dallas. They all wanted to come over to Sundance, but now no one wants to come over to Sundance.
Is it because of the evil empire that you've waged war with?
It could be. I mean, that's what I blame it on. There'll be others that will defend them for some reason, but why are businesses that have been, what do you call them? I can't think of the word right now, but they've been down there forever, just suddenly closing up shop and leaving and
Yeah.
moving,
Or the vacant buildings that you see now? It used to be in downtown Dallas and over by Elm and all that, but now there's more, I think, empty buildings and empty spaces for rent in downtown Fort Worth.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there. Is it Maddie, your girlfriend? Is it bad
Well, she's not my
community
girlfriend.
development?
No,
Like-
it's
Is it just money
the bass hole.
or the bass hole?
Ha ha. The one particular.
I mean,
vessel.
how long is Uno? Well, I
But
went down to
see, it's
when we
funny
went down to
because that goes against the
Thunderbird.
grain
Uno's
of what
closed, isn't it?
they sold us
Oh,
on when the
no.
Bass Brothers were going in there. That was the whole selling point of them building that awesome
That's before she
Music
got
Hall.
involved. That's before she got involved.
right.
Before they were even
And
married.
now it's almost like the kiss of death.
But you give her something to occupy her time and get out of his hair, and she's destroyed it. And
Oh man.
so let's talk about when we went down to the Thunderbird a few weeks ago to hang out and have some drinks. We parked right there by Uno, and I sat there and went, "This building's been empty for how many years?
Yeah, it's been
Been a
empty
while.
for a long time.
Yeah.
It still has all the Uno stuff on it,
Does it really?
on the
Yes.
windows and stuff.
Damn, I never even noticed.
But at least 7 years, 8 years.
Like, at least can someone not knock that stuff off so that maybe, it can be utilized by, bought by a business or rented out by a business or, I mean, it just looks dilapidated with all that stuff on there.
But
for
that
me-
also
to
goes
me.
back to what I was saying. You have a downtown mafia that doesn't want to give this stuff up to just anybody or to anybody that will put it to good use. It's a pretty. I'll just talk to everybody looking down at their computers.
Sorry.
No, you keep going. I'm looking something up for you.
Okay,
okay.
Dad,
I'm
we're
switching
listening.
over here.
God.
Don't pull it over.
I'm going to pull this over and wear everybody out again.
I invite you to Thanksgiving.
I'm going to turn this podcast
and
around
all
and we're
you
going to
do
go
is
home.
stare
All
at
right,
your
the
phones.
vacancy rate for office buildings in downtown Fort Worth is currently around 13%, which has remained stable since the pandemic. They
Office
say.
space.
Yeah.
Commercial space. Go to commercial space.
This is comparatively lower than cities like Dallas, which, okay, yeah, let's look up commercial.
Because that commercial space, what the Star Telegram reported not too long ago, was
That's probably what they're going to rip from.
at 65% or something like that.
65%? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Is it saying? Did it do it? Did it give it to you?
It gave me a bunch and compared it to Austin, and it says Fort Worth Central Business District was approximately 11% in 2023, reflecting a tighter market compared to cities like Dallas or Austin, where vacancy rates often range from 21 to 35%. So I guess we're completely wrong, but it sure does seem that way when you drive through there.
No, it's way worse than that because they just did a story about it. The Star Telegram just did a story about it.
This is straight chat GPT, so who
Straight
knows?
chat
It
GPT.
pulls from everything, but it says the commercial office vacancy rate in downtown Fort Worth is relatively low compared to other major cities in Texas. But I'm with you. I think that maybe this isn't as updated as it should be, this information being pulled, because I'm talking about right now. Like, if you drive down,
It's a ghost town.
through the area, through Sundance and all that, in downtown Fort Worth, and then you go and drive downtown Dallas on the weekends, like, because that's all we're really concerned with is cool shit during the weekends. There's a difference, and I feel like Dallas right now has kind of the upper hand in
45%. 45% of storefronts in Sundance Square in Fort Worth are currently vacant.
That's insane.
That is insane. And sad at the
Almost
same
half
time.
Yeah.
of the storefronts.
And is that because
Yeah.
the rent ceiling has raised so high, or
I
the
heard about
rent
that too.
floor? What's causing this?
I mean, I feel like I'm repeating myself because we've gone on this rant like a zillion times when I've completely attacked her, but it's what she's done. She's caused rent to go up. She's caused people the parking aspect of it,
Mhm.
and the paying for the insurance for the parking and all that all comes out of their pocket. That's a big ordeal. The giving people how do I say this? Giving people these opportunities to open up a storefront and letting them be like lease free for like 3 or 4 months, and then coming back and hitting them with a hard hammer after that time is up. Like that's happened to a few of our friends that have art galleries down there and
Oh,
stuff.
shit.
It's
Oh, man.
ridiculous.
They'll take advantage of
It's
the first
it's dirty
few years of
fucking
the
shit.
first-
And
yeah.
what pisses me off, this is what pisses me off, is it's someone that doesn't need money. You've got more money than your 6 generations from now will be able to spend. So why not beautify your city?
Does she own
like
it
her
all?
husband was doing, and her husband's brothers were doing to begin with.
But does she? How much? I wonder how much. What the percentage is of the Bass family owning buildings in downtown Fort Worth is?
They own 20. I've gone over all this.
It's a
They
lot
own
of 'em.
25 square blocks
Yeah, it's a lot
of downtown Fort Worth.
And so they're the ones that are controlling all of rent in that Sundance Square area and stuff like that. And they think that it's better to keep buildings unoccupied than to lower rent. That makes no business sense, really.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's the people that the
Tax
Bass
write-offs,
family
maybe.
has hired that are doing the administrative work, and then the lawyers and those kinds of people are the ones that are making these particular rent policies and stuff like that. And I bet you the Bass family is barely getting reported. They're like, other than, hey, all of our work that we did on the boots on the ground, you made $25 million this month for it. So don't worry about it. We're going back to work.
Yeah.
That's how it works, really.
Yeah.
So we can go the Bass family, like they have a vested interest in how all that, they're like, man, I really hope they don't think that we're raking them over the.
Oh, I think the verdict's out. Everybody thinks.
Well,
that
the
they're
problem
raking
is
them people out of
that
coals.
when you have 13 articles from multiple sources all over Fort Worth that say Sasha Bass is in full control and hands-on on this, I think it's more than just lawyers and attorneys and insurance people that are looking over the fees of this. She has hands-on, and there's a ton of people that have come out and said, she's come down and yelled at certain tenants and crap.
Wow,
I didn't know
really?
we were going to
Wow.
get into all this, but
That's insane.
I'm
Can you imagine that? One of the Bass family comes down because you got a little sneaker shop that you opened up down on ground level, and she fucking bitches your ass out.
She did that.
That's
She
crazy.
came down
That
and
is
told some.
absolutely
Does she
nuts.
dumb down the rich?
It was like
does
the-
she take off the Cartier and she puts
don't-
on like a muumuu and puts her hair in rollers and
Muumuu.
puts a cigarette in her mouth? and she's
Anybody in the
like,
chat
the
room
rent
here?
is due.
She's like a slum lord.
It's like a slumlord.
Anybody in the
Oh
chat
my
room
God.
remember us like me going on a rant
Kung
on
Fu
this
Hustle.
like 3 months
Man, that
ago?
Bass lady's
You've
a
gone
bitch.
on so many Bass rants.
But she
that-
came down to like the flower lady and told her, if you don't
it-
like the fucking rent, get the fuck out of here.
Oh damn!
And that's quoted, and they got her recorded saying that.
Oh, they
was
recorded
she
him
wearing rollers in her hair?
I don't.
Smoking a
smoking a
cigarette.
cigarette.
And not wearing a muumuu.
I don't like it though.
Was she
That's
the-
why I don't get like all
The
these
land-
apologists that are all like,
landlady?
"Oh, she's the greatest
No,
thing ever."
no,
You're
I
fucking
wasn't.
killing
No,
downtown.
wait a second.
No, I'm not saying you.
I wasn't being an apologist. I was just thinking, because a lot of we're learning now. I mean, we're not learning. We've known, but I think a lot of people are like, man, F these billionaires that are out of sight, out of mind. They just send their drones to do their dirty work, and they just collect the checks, or they live a lavish lifestyle. That is kind of like the general mentality of people, especially in light of what happened. I'm not going to go into it. What happened last week? People have this mentality of, man, billionaires rule the world, and they're not even doing any of the work.
What happened last week?
Dude,
The
I'm
CEO.
not
CEO.
You guys talk about it. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
That.
I got you.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey, we didn't even talk about.
And
that
so
today.
there's like this mentality of like, well, I'm just sitting back and watching my account grow. I mean, I'm just just set my little drones to work to kick these people out, and raise their rent so that they can't afford it, or destroy their lives because we make unavoidable healthcare issues. And
so, getting back to the CEO, and let's say a family that, or a company or a family group that owns a bunch of buildings in a downtown area, do you think they see what's going on Reddit and all these social media where these young people are saying these crazy things like, hell yeah, bring them all down and stuff like that? Does that cross? Do they think about that at all?
I think they see somebody who's lateral to them getting hurt like that, and they maybe start to pay attention. Like maybe their focus, maybe their attention has peaked a little bit about whether they have a target on their back. Well, and
that's what I'm saying. Do you think that they're thinking about that
maybe,
these days?
Perhaps. I don't know. I mean, I can't really speak for them,
because
that's
the mainstream media is shocked at how young people seem
not
to
young people
or everyone has everyone has kind of
if you're 50 years old and your grandmother gets her Social Security reduced to where she gets kicked out of her house, it's not just a young person that's noticing. It's that 50-year-old dude.
I don't think mainstream media realizes this though, because it's like they're shocked that the support, like almost the Robin Hood effect, has happened, and they act like they're shocked, and I don't understand why. It's like, do you not read like the complaints of your citizens and the people that watch your show at all? Do you have no idea how much disdain there are for CEOs and groups?
I think there's
huge companies.
I think there's been huge levels of tone deafness.
It really has.
That have really become prevalent in the past 20, 30 years when it comes to media. And that's that's media that represents the left, the middle, and the right. And I think this instance with the CEO has shaken something up. And in fact, Ben Shapiro was on his podcast or whatever, and he was trying to defend. He was trying to say that the actions against the CEO was like really terrible and blah blah blah. And then a lot of his supporters on his show were like, "Well, wait a second, dude. This guy is responsible for the deaths of a lot of people by denying so many claims,
business decisions,
by his business decisions." And these are conservatives that are railing on Ben Shapiro that would normally support what he's saying. So what I'm starting to see is very, very slowly, very on a small level, people that maybe don't necessarily agree with 90% of the things, as far as like a political or social spectrum, are seeing some common ground, and they are now looking to what I've always hoped is that it is not left or right.
No, it's a class war.
It is a class war, man. And like, I'm not going to go too far on a soapbox here, but I really think that the disparity, the level of people who are rich, people that own the wealth versus people who are hard workers that barely make anything, it's grown exponentially. The space has grown exponentially between them, and that's. And it's not only getting addressed, but now violence is becoming prevalent because of it.
That's exactly what my point was.
I'm pointing that out. I'm not
saying that racism is a huge issue in America. It's like systematic racism isn't a big issue, but when you hear people talking about how unjust and how racist this country is and how there's a race war starting, I always look at them and say, no, it's masqueraded. It's being used by both sides, but this is a class war that's actually happened. My trust of the media, and I am very left leaning.
but my trust of the media, even sources that usually, that I can trust, that I feel comfortable listening to or watching, I don't trust them.
I don't think anyone does anymore.
And it's very difficult for me to find, other than driving to the state and seeing seeing what's happening in this thing that should be reported honestly. You know what I mean? Like I'm having a hard time really trying to understand where my news sources that I can trust are.
Well, apparently, podcasting.
Podcasting
is
is great,
right
yeah, now. and there's a lot of honesty, pro and con, that's happening as far as that's concerned. The case in point, what's his face, who usually is a champion of the right, who was defending the CEO. Who has
Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, Ben Shapiro, whatever, and then a lot of his podcast listeners turning on him.
Yeah, he's a controversial
yes,
cat.
But what
though.
I'm saying is there are people that
usually
established
would stay,
listeners that would normally not say anything, and they'd be like, "Yeah, that's right, man.
I'm not
wearing a red hat and blah blah blah." That are like, well, wait a second, man. That my grandma's claim got denied, and she died because you see these comments.
It doesn't matter what political party it affected. The policies that these big companies
I'm seeing a shift.
Affect everyone.
I'm seeing that the established ground underneath of that all these people that have these leanings are standing on is now becoming shaky and starting to fall out from underneath them.
That's right.
And they're now kind of floating in the ether about what's their established view. And I feel like there's something going on in terms of a lot of agreement that it is a class thing, and in a lot of cases it's not a political thing; it's a class thing, and that's going to become more and more prevalent. And if it is, it's because people are going to research it. That's going to be a focus by people getting data and researching and really delving into these CEOs and these companies and as to why they make so much money. But still, through their company, have so much control over people's lives.
That's why it's so the topic of freedom of speech and censorship and journalistic integrity is huge right now, because the way people get information has changed, and there's going to be a push pretty soon, because that's just the way it goes, by the elites. We think that this last few years it's been hardcore about censorship and about controlling what is said to the masses. It's going to grow exponentially in the next 10 years probably because of all this technology. It's kind of scary almost.
Yeah. All right, so to put the train back on the track.
No,
sorry,
way too fucking far
sorry,
off.
man.
Sorry.
Going back to what you're talking about, if these billionaires actually pay attention to what the hell's going on, I mean, you've got the Basses with downtown. It's been talked about on every media outlet. WFA has done a story. NBC's done a story.
About the
CBS has done a story.
And the vacancy.
Every newspaper in print, well, the Star Telegram has done stories about it. I don't know if the Weekly's done a story about it or not. But
you can go to footworthweekly.com and find out.
And search. They didn't show up in any of these searches. But then Fort Worth Report, Fort Worth Today, Fort Worth Business Insider, all of these are massive blogs that are huge here in the city. Right. All of them have done stories about this and how shitty it's done and how shady she is to all these people. And you look at the major anchors that have left because of shady shit she's done, all signs point to her.
Yeah.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get it.
If it was just some dumbass on Reddit throwing out the thing like, Sasha Bass the whore.
We passed that several years ago.
It's just like, okay, ignore that. But you have all these media outlets doing stories on it at different times since 2019 about the way things have gone. And, some of them have blamed COVID. But they even look back that just last year.
But Dallas dealt with COVID,
They
too.
have, everybody's dealt with COVID. So get over that. That's no longer an excuse.
Right.
But like it says here in this Fort Worth Business Press, or FortWorthBusiness.com, it says, earlier this year, a website listed that there were 40 occupied spaces and 47 vacant ones around Sundance Square. That's more than 50%.
Yeah. That is. God, that's incredible.
And it says in here, I was right, they own 35 blocks of downtown Fort Worth.
Oh, my gosh.
35 blocks. Okay.
So why don't they just change the name to Sundance instead of downtown Fort Worth?
Once again, go back to this.
Or Bass.
And it says
Bass
here,
Square,
this is what I got in when we got into this conversation a few months ago was, all the brothers were, Sid and Lee the brothers of Ed were all on board about, Sundance was their vision, revitalizing that since the 70s. And that's what they did in the 90s. It became beautiful. It was awesome. It was a place to hang out.
Yeah.
All the businesses down there. Then they sold their interest to Ed and his wife, and then Ed turned everything over to his wife, and that's when everything started going downhill.
I tend to agree with you now.
Yeah.
Just because of our trip this last couple of weeks that we've gone, how many times? Because usually you guys hear me on this podcast, I'll rip Dallas. I'll say
When's the
Dallas
last time
sucks.
you've been to downtown
Dallas.
Fort Worth?
I don't go there hardly ever. But there's been a few times that I've drove through there just coming back from the Roots podcast. I drove through there and I was like, man, what the heck's going on? As far as the weekend goes, that's what I want to do. I want to go drive through there during the weekend and compare what I just saw in Dallas. Because from what I remember, the last time wasn't as pleasant as it usually is. And I was dumping on Dallas. Well, this time,
it's vice versa.
It's vice versa.
I drive through there every day, and seeing the change almost daily is shocking.
There's also something
Like
about
when people
how
are
Dallas is
move in and move
modernized
out. Move in and
correctly,
moved
I
out.
think. I think Dallas is modernized correctly. I think that they're considered, to me, Dallas is a modern city. Fort Worth is a nostalgic old school city that I like to keep as close to that as possible. Maybe they can't juggle both. Maybe that's the problem, is they're trying to juggle the old South romanticism with modernism that Dallas has, and they just can't pull it off. And then you throw in the mix someone that owns, would you say how much percent? 35 of the 40 buildings?
Yeah, 35 square blocks.
35 square
blocks.
Okay.
Square blocks.
You have someone that's just dictating market prices and rent like that, in control of that much part of downtown. Maybe things need to change.
They were the ones behind not being able to buy property down there.
Right.
And to turn it into a creative arts environment for all sorts of people all over the country, to make it a destination arts environment.
Let's keep it that way.
What? Keep it to where you can't buy it?
No, saying let's keep the you can do a destination arts environment and not fuck over the whole local arts and music industry.
They
by
are.
doing. I know.
I mean, they're not allowing it.
That's what I'm saying.
And what does it matter? You're a billionaire. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Class 4. We're back to class 4 now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It sucks though, because I usually toot my horn about Fort Worth over Dallas, but this last trip I saw a difference, and it wasn't on the funky town side. So
I mean, I've been saying this
You
for
have been.
years.
you've been
Watching the decline of Sundance has been shocking, and the entire decline of downtown. There's no reason for me to go down there except for Thunderbird.
which I still got to go check out.
That's
No
Pharrell's new
reason.
place, right?
Is he
Yeah.
gonna? Is it?
Yeah, didn't that just
are they gonna
recently
have live
open?
music?
Yeah, they have live music in there every once in a while. It's not all
But
the
it's
time.
not considered like he did Lola's.
No, it's not consistent. It's just every once in a while. Special
Right.
event stuff. And they just had a big show.
Yeah. But it's a situation we'll continue to monitor, people.
Or
You guys are so informed about Fort Worth stuff. That's amazing.
He is. I'm not.
But yeah, I try to stay
You're like a
up on it.
He's
grown
always
up.
driving
You're
through
like
there.
a grown up that reads the paper and everything.
I'm
Well,
just the
like-
knee jerk.
I'm terrible about.
Me too.
When you work down there and you drive through there like all the time, and it's just kind of like, what is happening? You quickly look it up. Or
No, I try and keep informed about, like what's going on with the city, the moves that the city council's making, especially in my own part of, I live in East Fort Worth and stuff. And so, I feel like there's a little disparity as far as like us getting
Gina
this-
Bivens and all the bullshit she's doing
Well,
over there, not doing.
I mean, what we
Is that your rep?
what we don't get for whoever's fault it is, I feel like we don't get the infrastructure love the way that the other side of 35 does, or north of that side of Fort Worth.
What's shocking is, and this is something
There's a million things that I can tell you.
I would love to sit down with one of them down there and hear what's rattling in their head. But when you have a giant entertainment hub that brings a lot of people to this city, which is in Arlington, and it's that big fucking stadium
The Dust Star.
that has a ton of events that I think you and I were talking about how many people come to this stadium to see a game from all over the
It's-
country
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because they want to see the stadium when their team is playing the Cowboys. How many people fly in to see this? And I've had so many people lately that are either fringe friends or they are like friends of friends be like, I came in to watch a Cowboy game and then I drove from Arlington to Fort Worth. What the fuck is going on East Fort Worth? Why did Lancaster scare the shit out of me? Why does Rosedale scare the shit out of me
Here's
as
the
I'm
thing.
trying to go to
Well,
Fort
wait
Worth?
a second. Living there, I'm going to tell you this right now. There's a lot of great people that live in East Fort Worth.
Oh, there is. There is.
Great communities that live in East Fort Worth. There's a lot of great business owners that have businesses in Fort Worth, but they don't get. I feel like the revenue and the infrastructure and a lot of things have not that benefit the money making side, quote unquote, the money making side of I-35. They are not afforded those things. I mean, there's a long laundry list that you can get into the minutia of what that is exactly, but I live there and I see it every day that there is a ton of poverty. There's a ton of empty buildings that should be full of businesses. There should be, different community organizations. There should be more organizations like Braver Together, like them in East Fort Worth that help not only the historic South Side, but also the entirety of East Fort Worth. And I think that for years and years and years, it's been like that. And that's just as much a fucking part of Fort Worth as any other part of Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And something's got to be done to help them. And I understand that there's a lot of causes that we've got to, we got to fight for, citizens in general of Fort Worth and stuff like that. But I feel like if we don't really address the fact that the four corners of Fort Worth are not equal in terms of what they get in revenue, in terms of what they get in terms of infrastructure that's afforded them, in terms of the attention that's paid to them, or drumming up interest for people to open up businesses, then Fort Worth is going to stay perpetually broken. And there's got to be something done about that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't have a solution, but I'm just venting from the standpoint of living in that neighborhood, knowing that the potential's there, but it doesn't matter if it's not a pull yourself up by your bootstrap situation. The boots are falling apart, and the city is supposed to at least supply the leather to build new boots.
And your council person that's over that area doesn't seem to give a shit about it. Never see her out and about doing anything about that side of town or making appearances or, doing her part to try to shoot some money over there. I never hear or see anything about that.
Well,
and it's kind of,
there are
she's
city
been
councils
in
that do
spot
care
forever.
about, like Chris Nettles gives a big crap about East Fort Worth, about South Side and East Fort Worth.
I'm talking about Gina.
I know.
Yeah.
I understand.
I'll throw her name
I'm
out
not.
there. Okay.
You can. I can't.
She's been there for way too long, and she needs to get out of there. And we need to get someone in there that actually do something.
Yeah, Lions
Instead of
Cake
just-
Ranger, fucking bitch.
Whoa.
Oh,
what?
wait.
Man, come on. Well, I tell you what
This
needs
is
to
a
happen.
children's show.
What we've said from this show from day one is Tony needs to run for mayor.
There we go. So this is where we start the campaign.
That's right. Every time he comes on, we're like, man, that guy's got a good vision for Fort Worth.
hey,
He
it's
needs to
a
run for mayor.
second
I'm gonna tell you
time's a charm.
something. It's a funny joke. Listen. Here's the thing. I'm so busy all the time, and there's so much about Fort Worth that I need to learn. Like I will say this: the last couple of jobs that I've had, I worked for the Humane Society of Fort Worth. I worked for Catholic Charities of Fort Worth, and I got to learn a lot about people who are in despair in Fort Worth. And yes, I am talking about pet owners. People that think that they can own a pet, but then they find out they can't afford the dog food, so that they bring it up to HSNT, and HSNT is just in certain seasons is overrun with
Way
animals,
overran.
and then they have to put the animal down because they can't take care of the animal, because that has a lot to do with poverty. I went to a seminar in Austin when I worked there that talked about the connection between poverty and owning a dog, and then letting a dog go wild, or turning it into a shelter and then overwhelming that shelter. And then at Catholic Charities, I was a job developer there, and I can't tell you the countless numbers of people that I loved helping to build their resume, to get them job connections that were not just, hey, you're going to get a job, you're going to lose the job, in a week you'll be back. the recidivism type situation. We were trying to find something that was sustainable for them that they could do as either in the long term or maybe even in some cases forever, or get them educational resources and this, that, and the other. I specifically worked for those particular entities to learn more about Fort Worth. I've learned so much about Fort Worth. Maybe someday, if my wife is patient with me, I can run for city council, and then if that pans out okay, maybe something else. But
Miss Diaz,
I'm still
can he please?
Don't ask my wife.
Pretty
She's literally gonna shoot you down. She'll be like, "Oh
No,
no,
he's not doing that.
He's not doing that crap. I barely see him now." But no, I have a vested interest in all parts of Fort Worth. I have a vested interest in equality in Fort Worth, and I don't care if people paint me with a brush saying that I'm liberal about that. I don't think it's necessarily a liberal
Fuck
thing
'em if they do.
to think that everybody needs to be. It doesn't. I mean, it's easy to say equal footing, but I think it has to be at least given some equal opportunities to be able to run a business, to go to school, to have affordable health care, to drive on roads that are not going to wreck your cars, so that you with the money that you don't have, you have to get your car fixed.
What's your stance on warehouses?
Warehouses in Fort Worth? I don't know. I don't have a stance on it because I do know there's a lot of empty warehouses in Fort Worth.
There's way too many warehouses being built.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is
I didn't know
this is
that.
my platform.
See, this is where
Just
I would
to
hire
stack the
you to be
bodies.
as part of my
Oh my
of my
God.
team as mayor. You'd be the one.
He'd be
who-
vice mayor.
Mayor Diaz, I think the warehouse situation is out of control. And here's me. When you had a rave, let's just do that.
That's
weekly
Smart
raves.
drinks. Get some smart drinks.
No, if you pretty much drive from downtown to north of the racetrack, north of Texas Motor Speedway, it is nothing but warehouses now along 35, and majority of them do sit empty, and we have people that are just laying out on the streets. Let's turn one of those into a place they can go crash in.
It's a great idea. It's a great
Let's-
idea.
A roof over their head.
Will they
Still
go
out of the
though?
rain.
That's the thing. Austin's tried it 1,000
I mean,
times,
I
and
think
they never show up.
I think
It's
a lot
like,
of them just go in there anyway now.
What do you mean? Oh, it's already being utilized.
Yeah, it's already being
Gotcha.
utilized. This is,
But,
there's some warehouses right by Meacham.
All joking aside, though, Austin's
Road.
tried that forever,
Yeah.
and that's
Dallas,
the thing is trying to
Dallas had a
convince
bunch of
people to do it.
warehouses in the '90s. I used to go to all the
Yeah.
raves. I
Yeah.
used to go to all the raves.
in the Cedars.
We
in the
could open a
Cedars.
sick
DJ Rob Vaughn,
indoor
You
karting
know what I mean?
place.
Squirt.
Edge
DJ
Club.
Squirt.
Edge Club 94.5. DJ Rob Vaughn.
Yeah.
I'd go to all those raves, dude, in the '90s, and it was all these warehouses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was
DJ
also
Hubert.
race car stories
I
going
went to
on
one at the Ridgely
out by
Theater once.
the
Oh yeah,
warehouses too.
Ridgely
Yeah.
Theater. Can we talk a little bit about Ridgely Theater?
Yeah, why not?
Is there anything happening?
No.
Well, there's the
like,
room in the lounge. They book bands regularly. It's
Yeah.
mostly metal, though.
Are they?
Last I
like
heard.
what?
I haven't followed them in a while.
I have been going to the Ridgely Theater since I saw Return of the Empire
Pimpedelic?
Strikes Back.
Oh,
in,
yeah.
in
The
1980,
grill.
81. And that was back. My dad dropped me and my brother Danny off. God rest his soul. Dropped us off to watch that movie, and then picked us up. That theater was epic. And then, of course, later on as we became adults, they started. The two owners. I can't remember the old owners. They were amazing.
Wesley
yeah,
and
Richard and Wesley.
Richard and Wesley, and they had great bands. I've booked bands there through them.
I played there so many freaking times.
Yeah, we've
So
seen
have
so many
I.
great, amazing bands there, and then they went away, and then there was like a limbo, and then the lounge thing happened, like you just pointed out,
Yeah,
and now
lounging
it's
room.
still kind of limbo-y, and it's like
So-
it's such a beautiful space. Like, what's
Let's do it.
happening?
They have 4 events coming up. 2 of them are this Saturday. It looks like some type of Stacks and Sounds. It's a DJ event. And then a saxophonist holiday concert on the 21st, and then a Michael Jackson tribute concert April 12th. That's all I see
That's all
listed
on
for
the
the
I
calendar.
Ridgely.
mean, to be honest with you,
For the theater.
it's too big a space. I mean, you've got to have national acts traveling through there to fill the seats up to make
Yeah.
it worth it.
I saw
But-
Horton Heat and Typo
I
Negative
mean,
there.
my band Goodwin, we did our CD release party, and we really there was no real social media at the time that you could really tap into to get people to come out.
Yeah.
So we called radio. We did all kinds of crazy shit with the Star Telegram, and I think we got with the Weekly involved, Anthony Mariano, everybody. We did everything, and I think 100 people showed up, maybe more, for our CD release party, and it still paled compared to the rest of the venue. Like, the venue itself, it's gotta be big, huge touring national
We had
acts.
350 one night for a big festival there, and that felt empty.
Yes,
It's a giant room to fill.
it's a
the
movie
same thing,
theater.
The
from
same thing with Haltom
40s
Theater
or whatever.
Haltom Theater. If you have 50 people show up, you feel like you're playing to 12 or 10. If you have 100 people show up there, it still feels like you're playing to 20 people. That room is huge.
Isn't it like showing that there's like up to this point, from then to now, there are still no solutions as to having complete shows of packed people coming to see regional or local bands on the regular at venues in Fort Worth?
Is it? Well, you got a room like Tulips that's getting good regional stuff.
Yeah, they get
good regional and touring stuff. Helmet showing up to play Tulips
that's pretty big.
It's kind of badass. I think it just has to do with your booking agent, who they've got, and if they're getting paid well.
Yeah,
that was never a good paying job.
I mean, it really does break down to something that simple for sure. I mean, I think we're just kind
You
of.
gotta have
I
the
was just
passion
trying to
for it.
drum up the fact that you're right about earlier. The venue situation in Fort Worth, the live music venue situation in Fort Worth,
It stinks.
It's really, it pales.
Yeah,
and I don't see it fixing itself anytime soon.
Bring
And
back the
so-
Impala.
Yeah, I love the
Bring back
Impala.
the engine room.
The engine room. Oh my god.
Dogstar.
I saw Ohm at the engine room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nathan Brown,
Yeah.
and I forgot the other guy that was in that. They would set their instruments up in the four corners of the engine room. It was like a sound man's nightmare.
That's hilarious.
And Daniel Gomez took me. He's like, dude, yeah, Nathan's in this band. It's called Ohm. We gotta go check it out. And I was like, okay. So I went to go see it, and it was
remember
a
that band name.
sound nightmare. But interesting shit like that. But interesting venues like that need to come back for sure.
Yeah, by the time I was old enough to get into venues, the engine room shut down.
Yeah.
Like
Melissa
it's like right as
Kirkendall-
soon as I started getting into local music.
Wasn't Melissa Kirkendall and her husband owned that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the old Dogstar Cafe.
The Dogstar Cafe.
The one on Barry. Yeah.
Yeah. That
that's
became
Velvet's
Yeah,
it
the
became
original
Moon.
one, but
Ska
they moved.
bands.
They moved to Magnolia
Yeah.
before Magnolia all got built up.
And it became
like
the
it is today.
Moon.
The
Yeah.
moon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
A cocktail bar. I actually played there when it was a moon. The Moon.
Yeah, I played the Moon several times. I love that venue. That stage
Moon
that
was awesome.
1 foot high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
It was
step
kinda
right up,
novel.
think, think.
Next to the original Fuzzy.
Yeah, that area was sketchy and fun back in those days.
Yeah.
Going from Vickery to Magnolia to Barry.
Well, gents,
Run
I
around.
hate to do this, but
No, it's time for us to get out of here.
yeah, we're done.
We're here with you.
yeah.
We're all old. We got to get the fuck
Unless
out
you're
of here. We got to
about
get
to-
some
No,
sleep.
well,
We got stuff to
I
do.
also work for the Fort Worth Weekly, and we have a paper to launch, and so
Nah,
Yeah.
you don't
my
need
work
that.
doesn't
Is
end.
Tuesday still the print
At
night?
some point, yes, it is.
Oh shit.
At some point in my life, I'm going to sleep.
Mhm.
At some point in my life, my wife and I are going to take like a 6-month vacation somewhere. At some point in my life, I'm going to be one of the people that really puts in the hard work to make our music scene sustainable. And at some point in my life, I'm going to be mayor of Fort Worth.
There you go.
How
There we
about
go.
that? Is that cool? Did I end it right?
All right.
That's
yes.
one hell of an exit statement, Tony.
This
well done,
weekend,
man.
He's I'm going to quote you on that, sir.
Friday, Saturday night, be at the Cicada. It's going to be a fun time. You're going
Yeah.
to see some very unique stuff go down that
my gosh.
you'll probably never see again.
Yeah,
Great.
you may never see it again. That's
Great
Yeah.
talent.
Every
musicians,
Fort Worth
Indeed.
Rock Assembly has been a memorial event,
and an orgy.
memorable
What?
event.
well, I have you three.
Memorable.
I have press passes for you three.
Sweet.
Oh, thank
So-
you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
That'd be awesome.
All right, so we'll see you down there. It'll be a fun time.
Okay, Abe, get your tickets at prekindle.com. And hey, tell us you're going on the Facebook event thing.
You can probably
Yep.
just
You
put your
kids.
phone up to the screen if you're watching us live. And just-
Also,
Can it?
you can also find us on MySpace and Friendster.
Friendster?
And
Never heard of that one.
and Grinder.
Tony, don't be a stranger.
I won't.
Get back over
I
here.
need to come back.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
I need to come back.
Most definitely.
And then and stand on soapboxes. You
Yeah, it's
guys-
always
Yes,
good
let's
talking
do
to
it.
you.
So
Your soapboxes make sense though. So
As long as
Yeah,
they're
I
sturdy.
like your soapbox.
Well, that's good.
Don't fall off the soapbox.
All right, we're
I'm
out of
short.
here.
I might.
Repents.
Bye.